All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit. This is the feature tournament number one. My name is T. Johnson McCuty Sanders, and I'm joined by David Dog Kyra. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. I just woke up from a nap and feeling fresh, charged, ready to cast this tournament. How are you?
I'm
Good?
doing well, doing well. I didn't have a nap, so I'm not quite as refreshed as you are, but definitely looking forward to seeing some fantastic Hearthstone action. For those of you who are just now joining us and don't really know too much about the summer circuit or about One Nation of Gamers, it is sort of the premier summer tournament for open players. Basically, we have 16 open tournaments that all lead into 4 feature tournaments throughout the summer. Each of those open tournaments give away GEICO points, and the GEICO points can be used to qualify players for the feature tournaments and, of course, for that grand finals that's going to be happening at the end of the summer at PAX in Seattle. So for the first feature tournament, we have 2 invited players, so 2 pro players. The pro players for this week are Kalento and Amaz. We have the 2 players with the most GEICO points from each region, NA and EU, that made it through the first 4 qualifiers, so 2 from NA, 2 from EU. And, of course, we have the 4 winners of our first 4 open tournaments. So we have a pretty stacked lineup for you guys today, and it should be pretty fantastic. Of course, throughout the summer, we'll be giving away $60,000 worth of prizes, of course, all made possible by GEICO. And, of course, lots of GEICO points and World Championship points as well. So the first matchup of the day is going to be a Kalento versus Nostum. So, Dog, what do you know about these two players?
Kalento, super established. I mean, he plays in everything and he's won a lot. He has a lot of oomph to his name. Whereas Nostum, I've heard of him. I played him on ladder. He's definitely a good player. I mean, he had to be a good player to qualify for, this opportunity, things like that. So it'll be interesting to see how he matches up against Kalento, an already established player. Should be a good match. I really enjoy watching when pros play like someone who's not very well established. I mean, it doesn't take anything away from the unestablished player, but I don't know. It's always fun to watch.
Yeah, of course, Nostem was the player to qualify with the most GEICO points from the North America region, and Kalento was one of the invited players for the week. So both these players are part of Group A. We will be broadcasting all of Group A today, which means that it's a GSL style double elimination group stage. So we'll have Kalento versus Nostum, and then we'll have Eldritch versus Wafster. The winners play each other, the losers play each other, and then, of course, the losers of the winners match plays the winners of the losers match. It sounds kind of complicated, but in the end, it's sort of like a double elimination group bracket where we end up with 2 players at the end of the day that move on to the playoff stage. I just want to give you guys a quick reminder. Make sure you head over to geico.onog.gg. You can get all the information about the tournament, all the information about GEICO as a sponsor. You can get a quote from GEICO as well. And you can also enter in for your chance to win a official TSM PC. The giveaway is global, so wherever you are in the world, make sure you head over to that website, check out the information, and enter in for your chance to win a TSM PC. But it looks like we are jumping in to the first matchup between Kalento and Nostem, and it looks like it's going to be Kalento's Warrior versus Nostem's... I didn't
Druid
see.
against his Druid.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
All right, so it looks like it's Patron Warrior, and I don't know, this matchup's really sketchy. You see Kalento keeping Patron, and that's because the way you win this matchup is just turn 4, play Dustbite, turn 5, drop a Patron, and then just start going crazy with it. So I really like that keep from him. I don't know.
Yeah,
two's not very good though.
And once you get those patrons on, it's so hard for Druid to be able to remove it. They have to get a really explosive start with wild growths and innervates and force the Warrior to play defensive for most of the match.
Speaking of the devil, there's the wild growth from the Druid. He clearly plays Druid. He's a good Druid player. Every Druid good Druid player will draw wild growth.
Yeah. We have a slight spectator bug happening, so we're going to try and get Nostum's hand as quick as possible. But for right now, we're going to role play as Kalento.
Exactly. So we hit face there. I don't think he knows that it's Patron or not. You can make the decision not to attack just because Battle Rage is a thing, stuff like that. But
yeah,
ultimately, Kalento can always damage himself with weapons anyways.
Yeah, and Kalento's not really a predictable player. I believe he's brought Patron Warrior to some of the recent tournaments that he's been playing, but he also plays a lot of Control Warrior, so it's hard to pin him on one. But the Frothy Berserker is definitely going to give it away.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Noticed him.
We have vision.
Got him. All right, so the charge there, pretty good. Weak against the weapon, but Kalenta doesn't have it. I don't know. I do like charging there. Frothings are like the most annoying thing for Judes to deal with. That and patrons, obviously.
Yeah.
Damn, they're playing quick.
Yeah. Both these players. They're like you, dog.
I just want a beast. It's okay.
Sort of a rough curve here for Nostum early on. He hit the wild growth, but then he didn't really hit that 3-4 drop that he wanted to. He didn't draw into Paladin Shredder or Shaded Extramus. So now he's the one that's going to be having to play defensively, and using his removal spells for Armor Smith and Loot Hoarder is not the greatest feeling. But Swipe isn't really that useful later on in this matchup, because a lot of times you can't even use it when the board gets filled with Grim Patrons.
Yeah, Kalenta is just like chilling there. He doesn't really like. I don't know. Like he can coin Emperor this turn, right? I actually can't see the mana.
Yeah, 5 mana. Yeah, he can coin Emperor.
So coin Emp. The thing is, like when you're playing Patron, you kind of like have to have enough cycle and enough stuff to do. Like right now, he has like 2 patrons, right? I mean, like in hand. What's he gonna do with that? The good thing is like he teched in Slam, which you know, he can start propagating those patrons. It's nice. Keeper. Wrath. Ugh, it's really bad when you're behind as Druid. Like, just playing the removal game is definitely not fun. Because, like, as a Druid, you can't really leave anything on the board because you don't really have good mass AoE clear, so you have to deal with threats, like, as they come. Otherwise, you just fall behind and get, like, berserked, but at the same time, you want to be as aggressive as you can to try to, like, finish the warrior because, you know, they're just going to start destroying you. Like, yeah, like this. Like, there's nothing the Druid can do right now. He's just going to have to play, like, a few cards and hope he can start clearing.
Yeah. And that's pretty rough. And he knows that you have to remove them, like you said, you have to remove them as they come. And a lot of times you have to remove those Grim Patrons one at a time. You have to Keeper one, Wrath the other, Hero Power the other. And since he's already been through a Wrath and a Keeper, and he had to do that to remove Emperor Thorsan sort of desperately, he's just sort of in the hole right now, and there's not really too much that's going to climb him back out of this one. Unless...
I like this. Yeah, this is a good play.
Yeah. Unless Kalento draws dead for the next couple turns.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. That's a pretty good draw.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can definitely just smack. Oh, is he going to go face here?
Yeah.
Yeah. That sets up for lethal also with Gromash.
Yep. And even if he finds a way to put a taunt down or heal through it, he still can... He protects his Grim Patrons, he can develop even more Grim Patrons, execute a big threat next turn.
That Despot draw was probably one of the best draws Kalenta could have gotten that turn, thinking about it.
Yeah.
Warsong would have been dead. Battle Rage would have been dead. I guess Gnomish is like the best if he even runs it.
Yep.
So I think that's game, right? Is that enough damage? That's 6 plus 4 plus, yeah.
Unless
the Boombots?
Boombots hit Grom each for 4.
The dream.
That's the only way.
You can't even be mad. You can't even be mad if you lose like that. Like,
yeah.
You just kind of have to laugh.
Yep.
All right. So it looks like Kalenta is going to take game 1.
Yeah.
What does Nostrum have left? Let's see. Still has Druid, Warlock, and Warrior, and Kalento has Hunter, Rogue, and Warrior.
Yeah.
Hunter, Rogue, and Warrior. So if you're Kalento, what do you pick? Do you pick the Hunter or do you pick the Rogue?
I think I'm not sure if Kalento is one of the players that just like rolls a dice. But a lot of players, if they don't do that, they probably try and save the deck that they perceive as the weakest until last.
Yeah.
It's like through a couple different styles. Judging by how he picked Patron Warrior first, it looks like that's sort of his plan to pick the weakest deck last, or what he perceives to be. So I'd imagine he just pick Hunter next, try and pick up a quick win, and save Rogue for the third deck.
Hunter seems pretty good against the Warlock, the Druid. Yeah. The Warrior, maybe not. So maybe Nostrum will go Warrior, thinking that there's a lot of mind games that go into it. It's really interesting to think about. I don't know. A lot of people just RNG it.
Yeah.
And pray they get a good matchup, which I mean, like, you're going to get a 50-50 matchup if you RNG it anyways, right? Like, you don't even have to put in mind games because you're just, like, rolling the dice. So yeah, it looks like he's just going to repick Druid. A lot of people do that also. I don't really like that. Like I like just randomizing it, but
Mhm.
you know that's fun. And it looks like Kalento picked up Rogue.
Yeah, this is so I know you probably have the most experience with these two classes out of most players that play at a competitive level. What are your thoughts on this matchup? Who has the advantage?
Rogue. All the Rogue. Okay, here's the thing. Whenever people ask that, like all the Rogue players, always, they're just like, yeah, Rogue's favorite
Yep.
because they're like so confident in their Rogue and they're just so like arrogant and cocky. I've been losing a lot of my matchups against Druid though as Rogue because I cut Violet Teacher. Violet Teacher's really good against Druid because they don't really have. They only have Swipe. Because Double Shredder helps so much against Warrior. But if you're running double Violet Teacher, Rogue's favored. If Druid doesn't draw Wild Growth, Rogue's obviously favored. If Druid has the nuts, Druid has the nuts.
Yeah. There's also a lot more Harrisons now than maybe sometime in the past when Rogues were also popular just because so many weapon classes are strong right now. Both Warriors, Rogue. So
Exactly. That can definitely be a hindrance. Kalento's hand's pretty good though. I mean, prep sprint's decent. Like the Druid's hand is just awful mostly. I think that's the issue right now. Like having combo in hand is fine, but like you don't really want it this early when your opponent's at 30 HP, right?
yeah.
BGH's probably going to be dead as well.
And he also has the second prep to be able to leverage in the mid game for big plays or removal. Yeah, this is a pretty big hand. Oh, he does keep Violet Teachers. I've seen. I sort of agree with you, and I've removed Violet Teachers as well from Rogue, but I've seen a few players now and again still keep it in. It's really bold, I think, to run it in a meta with patrons, but I guess if you can get it out early, maybe it can do work, and it's strong against Druid.
It's usually that you need 3/4 drops, so you run double Shredder or double Teacher and one of the other.
Yeah.
I like the BGH play here, although it's going to get punished like really hard with the backstab. Like, basically the way No Stand wins this is drawing into lore or like a good 7 drop. Kalento is like so far ahead right now though, because like No Stand's hand is like pretty bad. You don't want, as I said, you don't want Force Roar whenever your opponent's at 30 HP.
Yeah.
You basically use 2 cards to do nothing. Like ramping up does nothing if you don't have like plays, right? He's gonna need to cycle the Wrath next turn. Hopefully draw into something good.
Well, he's got a shade. That's one thing that he can.
Oh yeah, that beautiful shade. I'd like to see him cycle the Wrath here. Yeah. Let's draw first.
Yeah, his hand's pretty terrible at the moment. I mean, looking at it, this is one of the dream hands as Rogue. You have like a perfect mix of removal. He's got second prep and creatures to be able to back up his spells. Like,
yeah, his hand is pretty sick. The second he draws into a flurry, like the game's just over, I think.
Yeah.
It's just the prep, and that's what he's kind of digging for right now with the Drake.
Yeah.
Ooh, that can actually win him the game. He should attack here, I think. Because he has no good way to remove it. Oh my goodness. That Lothab was so clutch. Holy... Like...
Lothab usually on curve like that, or not even on curve, just at any point against a Rogue if they don't already have a big board. Just pretty much makes their next turn.
Yeah,
playing a creature and then passing.
Like, he's like trying to set up for lethal with the... Like, it's so good he attacked with Shade there. And like, he has combo in hand. That Lothab was like definitely the clutchest of draws. Let's see. How much HP is he at? Definitely not lethal, but he's getting there.
It would have been lethal if he didn't play double Earthen Ring, but
yeah, if he didn't top like that Earthen Ring.
Pretty obvious.
I think you just go for it.
Yeah.
I like it. Like, you know, he just used 2 heals. Like, what are the odds he runs like another heal bot in there? You're gonna draw into damage eventually. I like this a lot.
It limits the amount of times he can use Dagger to hit in.
Exactly. Basically, he's setting up for lethal, right? He has a Grove in hands. He has to deal with that threat. Dang, these games are like really fast. I like that a lot. Like some Druid players like don't do that. They're just like, oh, I don't have lethal with combo. I'm not gonna go in. But I'm glad he realized that he needed to go in there.
Well, now as Kalento, you have to sort of you're really on the clock here because every single turn you risk your opponent top decking. So he just has to try and piece together as much damage as he possibly can, build up a big board, and try and set up lethal over the next couple turns. And if he
Yeah.
draws into Blade Flurry next turn,
That's game.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, he tried.
He tried.
He tried.
He tried to put himself in the best possible position, but there's not really anything he can do. I mean, even if Nosum didn't have Keeper in his hand, there were still a lot of draws that would have won him the game.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
either Druid of the Claw, Savage Roar, which he got off the top anyway, Second Force of Nature, just so many things that win the game. So really well played by Nostum. He's going to tie the series up 1-1 and take a win with the Druid. And a lot of players have been cutting Druid from their lineups. I've actually seen a lot of players saying that Druid isn't in the best spot. Do you agree with that statement? What are your thoughts on Druid right now?
I think it's coming back. I didn't bring it to DreamHack Winner. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people I talked to didn't, because it was like losing to Tempo Mage. It was losing to Rogue. It was losing to. It even lost to Mallylock sometimes. Like it just lost to a lot of decks. And like Hunter was getting popular. Patron Warrior is popular. It just didn't have good matchups anymore. But it's starting to come back because I mean it has very strong cards like Wild Growth, Innervate, things like that.
Yeah, Tiddler actually ran Druid in his lineup, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was interesting. Some of the decks, some of the Druid decks, a lot of them ran like Wars and like a bunch of like weird cards like that. So
All right.
it's like Kalento's gonna pick Hunter against Nostum's Warrior.
Yeah, Nostum in the matches that he played that I saw in one of the open tournaments, he was playing Patron. All right, and he is playing Patron again. So. All right. Well, this looks like it's mid-range.
Yeah, I think it is. It might be hybrid. I saw Wolf Rider in the Mulligan.
Oh yeah, Wolf Rider. Yeah, that's right.
It's interesting he coined this out. I guess he has another 3-drop to follow it up. I usually like saving for Despite, but I guess he just wants to squeeze in some draws.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. I actually think this matchup is like super favored for the Patron Warrior. Like very, very, very favored, because you usually run double Armor Smith, and like Despites and Whirlwinds, like they just can't get aboard. The only way I think that the Patron Warrior loses is something like, can't deal with a high main, but you can usually deal with like the little minions, or you don't draw into a weapon, something like that.
Yeah.
This is a hard position.
Yeah. You can just kill command the Frothing Berserker. He can Animal Companion healer, but I don't.
You could get like a Huffer. That's not too much. You could go with Knife Juggler and go for some juggles. You only need to hit one, and then you can trade in your Leopardome.
Yeah, that's true. That fits the curve as well. So you could weave in a hero power.
Yeah, this is fine as well. I think he wants to protect his Death Rattle, something like Whirlwind.
Because if he throws in all that damage and then ends up missing his juggles, then he puts himself in a really awkward position where he's going to take like 10 damage to the face the next turn.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Explosive Trap. Interesting.
So, yeah,
Oh,
sometimes the
going
Hybrid
in.
Hunters do run it, but it feels more and more like Face Hunter as we get going. The opening hand just didn't seem very facey. The Haunted Creeper is a little bit interesting because some Face Hunters don't run Haunted Creeper, but
Yeah, I agree. I wonder if he's going to burn a Whirlwind here to kill off the Knife Juggler. So he is. Okay. Huh. Kalento's like out of cards, but I mean, the Warrior's like, doesn't have board. He's a low HP.
yeah.
I don't know. It could go either way right now. I was gonna say the Warrior like won this like earlier, but putting up a fight. I like it.
Oh, Kill Command. That's some pretty good reach.
Yeah, definitely. I like Unleashing here. I like this a lot because he just used the Whirlwind. He didn't have another Whirlwind, otherwise we would have queued it up already. He has no way to deal with these 1/1s. I mean, ideally you want to be getting in your Kill Command early, but I mean, this pushes the most damage for sure. That's all you want to do. You want to smork it up.
There have been some Patron Warrior lists who have been running Shield Slam, but other than that, Patron Warriors don't have much on-demand life gain. You talked about the Armor Smiths, but Armor Smiths are usually something that you lay on turn 2 and then bank on as like the first couple turns go by. Unless you're setting up for like big Patron turns later on where you Warsong, Patron, and Armor Smith to keep bouncing and gaining more armor.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't have like it takes a while for the Armor Smith to get value, basically. I agree.
So he's at 10 health now. He doesn't have ways to like deal with what's on the board without taking too much damage in the process. And without Emperor Thorsan as well, he's still a couple turns away from being able to dish out big combos. I think this is looking grimmer and grimmer for Nostum.
Grim. I think you just clear the board completely. I think you use the Inner Rage. I think you armor up. And it sucks you don't have a unit on the board, but you basically don't want them to have a unit to Abusive Sergeant to buff with Glaive Zuka, because they get an extra damage in, and it just like slowly eats at them. But he disagrees. This is better. Like holding it is better against something like a Wolf Rider, something like that.
Yeah.
It's going in.
Yeah. Well, he sets up for lethal the following turn with just kill command and hero power as long as 1 damage 6 onto the board, or if he attacks them with explosive. So
yeah, he's scared it's freezing, I think. This is...
well, it's okay, it is turn 8 because of the Arcane Golem, so that's one thing that he can...
Ooh, is that game? That's...
If he can't really afford to play around with anything right now.
Exactly,
He just has to
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
go all in and hope that it's like a trap that he can deal with. But yeah, since he's not armoring up, he has kill command in hand, so yeah, that is going to be game. And Wolf Rider. To
I think
top it all
it wasn't. I don't think it was hybrid. We would have seen like a Shredder. We would have seen
Yeah.
like a High Main or something.
Yeah,
Nice. Base. Smork it up.
yeah.
That's so good to bring in like tournaments and stuff. Like bringing one Smork Hunter, like one really aggressive deck, because like it usually just like steals a win or something.
The Arcane Golem especially. Hybrid Tunners, I mean, they sort of flirt the line between both. So you can put in like a full like 28 Face Hunter and then like high mains and just cut random cards in the early curve. But the Arcane Golem basically says it's just full face. So yeah, I definitely don't disagree with that choice from Colento. So he's going to take a 2-1 lead. The only deck he has left to win with is Rogue, and he's got to do it against either Warlock or Patron Warrior. And depending on what kind of Warlock it is, I think he's got a pretty decent shot to just find one win against either Grim Patron Warrior or any type of Warlock.
Yeah, I think Rogue's pretty favored against Patron. It can definitely go like the way of Patron, but I don't exactly right. It's that thing. Like I think Rogue is favored against like almost everything, but you have flurries to clear the threats. Like the only way the Patron wins, or most of the way the Patron wins, I feel is getting those weapons and just smacking face. Just smack the crap out of the Rogue. Yeah.
So I asked this question a lot, and I know it's not relevant to this matchup, but I want to get your thoughts on it. Rogue versus Handlock. Rogue favored?
There's a couple factors. Do they run Ooze and do they run Lotheb? If they run Lotheb, it goes a little... I still think it's Rogue favored, but it goes a little more toward... Like, it's more 50-50. If they don't run Lotheb or Ooze, then it's like 60 or 70% for the Rogue, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if he gets to that, but this match is going to be Colento's Rogue versus the Patron Warrior of Nostum.
Let's see. Double oil. It's bulky. It's a hard turn. It's a very hard turn. Because on one hand, you want to kill the Acolyte so he can't get draw, but on the other hand, you don't want to just drop a naked SI. If you coin into Shredder, if he has a weapon, then there's a chance. I think coin Shredder is probably the best play, but if he has a weapon, then he can draw off Acolyte with the Shredder will probably drop a 2-attack minion, a 1-attack minion, something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he's hoping for a 3-attack plus here. Let's see what he gets. I think the average is below.
Oh man!
Oh.
Oh man! Sometimes lucky.
Yeah, so that's probably one of the best things that you can get from a Shredder as a Rogue, just because you can buff it up with oil.
Man, that would have been terrible if he didn't draw into that.
Yeah. I've won games before, or one single game. I don't want to say games, but one single game. It felt like multiple games where I got oil, or I got the Whirling Zap-O-Matic from a Shredder, and then ended up being able to oil it up. And
yeah, that card is very tilting to get. For the opponent, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's also like a really hard turn for the Rogue. Everything's just like coming up really, really awkward for the Rogue, and you don't really want these turns because you don't want to read Dagger. You don't want to you don't want to play a naked SI. You can't really prep anything.
Yeah, and wow,
I don't know what to do here.
you can prep.
Prep SI face, Tink Soil attacking
Yeah,
that thing.
yeah, yeah.
That's like really sketchy.
Well, because you're forcing him to attack into
6-3.
6/3,
Dude.
so he's going to take a lot of damage. But you're also at the same time wasting. Um,
Oh, he's just burning a prep. He's not even using the oil.
huh.
Interesting.
So he values the second charge of the oil
Huh.
more than the actual prep. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange.
Because it would also have turned out to be sort of even because he would have ended up taking more damage to the face because of him, 3 more damage to the face because of him having to attack into the SI agent with the weapon. Most likely. I mean, there was chances he could, like, cool Taskmaster BGH or cool Taskmaster Execute or something like that, or even just hit with Death Bite and Execute, but that's forcing him to have that combination earlier on.
Yeah, the Drake, yeah. There's some, I don't know, there's like some turns where they just play themselves, right? Like, oh, I have 5 mana.
Yeah.
I only plays a Drake, I'll play the Drake, right?
Yeah.
But it looks like, yeah, Patreon's in like a pretty commanding position. The only thing he's like really missing is another weapon, and maybe like Emperor or something like that. He has like the double frothing combo, which is like the dream, but I think he's gonna play 1 frothing and then just cool execute. Yeah, I like this.
And since Kanto doesn't have a weapon developed, he doesn't really have a good way to deal with this board this turn.
Stab. Does that help? You can backstab, eviscerate, dagger.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could also just set up a Tink Soil this turn and next turn Flurry. So those are his 2 options. We'll see what he does.
If you leave the Frothing Berserker on the board, though, in hopes of flurrying it next turn,
I know it could go wrong.
could end very
but,
badly.
You could smack it with your face also.
Yeah, that's true.
Save your eviscerate, but I'm not sure how much he would value that. I don't know, those Tink Soils are like really clunky. You kind of want them out of your hands sooner or later.
Yeah. Bet he's wishing he still had that prep. But I guess there wasn't really any way to navigate that turn without using prep the turn prior. So,
Sap. Okay.
Sep on the Armor Smith.
Yeah. There's not much to sap in this matchup unless they run Belcher or something. So he just wants to use his mana, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, if you sap the Frothing Berserker, there's a chance that the Frothing Berserker is going to do more damage to you than it would have if you hadn't sapped it.
Oh man, yeah. You never sap Frothing Berserkers. They'll come back and bite you.
Yeah.
I've learned that like the hard way for sure. That's a really, 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 really good draw. Dustbite. It's like the most important card in this matchup.
Yep.
And he can do 8 to face and just smack. Like this is what I'm talking about. You just smack him in the face, hit him with Grom. Game can definitely go your way.
Yeah, with Pigeon Warrior, you don't even need to save Grom for lethal. It's basically just 10 damage for 8 mana most of the time.
Just smack away. There's a sprint, second flurry, Farseer, second sap. Okay.
Well, spending a whole turn having to use sprint is pretty rough because now he's going to be put at 5 health.
Yeah, I like this. Just slam Gromosh. Rogues don't really have a good way to deal with it. You're what, 5 damage off lethal?
Yep.
Next turn you have War Song into Frothing. Yeah, can win with an Enrage next turn.
And that's if he finds a way to deal with your board. Which,
Exactly. Your Gromosh is like terrifying as heck.
Mhm.
Can you even kill it?
He can sap it.
That sounds like a good plan. Like this is what I was talking about though. Like you kind of want to save your eviscerates for bigger like things. If you set up the Tink Soil earlier, his hand wouldn't be as clunky. He could flurry something, but
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really anticipate them to have the second Death Bite into Gromosh into you crying. Your face is all hurt.
How is he? Okay, I
Yeah,
see.
sap.
Yeah. I was wondering how he was going to navigate it. Well, now he's just an activator away from winning the game, like a whirlwind. I guess he's still 1 minute off from being able to cruel Taskmaster it.
You could just run it in this turn if you would like.
Yeah. Nope, not quite.
So
He could.
the most heal you're anticipating is 3, right?
Yeah.
Because you know he has one more Farseer, and he's probably not running double Farseer heal bot. So you could probably just smack face with the War Axe and then trade in your War Song if you want or something. This also works. It just sets up for lethal, right?
Yeah.
I don't like this as much because if he draws into a second Farseer, like he could just heal. Oh no, because he could just War Axe and play it again. Never mind. No, that's good. It's all
Well,
good.
this is a lot of damage, but
4, 5, 6.
it's not enough to kill him.
I don't think so. 6 plus 8, 8 plus 6, 12.
It's not. Is what, 19
Yeah, he's
damage?
off. Yeah, it's like 19-ish.
18 or 19. And even if he removes here, he's still dead.
Yeah,
So
the War Axe is going to get him for sure.
you can try and go all in, and do that amount of damage and
He has to
trade
remove-
something in.
He has to remove Grommash, and I think he
Yeah.
understands that. He's probably going to end up flurrying here and just trying to clear it, but we can tell it's pretty over. So it's going to be like 2-2, right? That's pretty good.
And if the oil doesn't land on his Southsea here, it's going to be super awkward for him to clear off the Grom anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's just inefficient. It's not awkward, it's just inefficient, because he'd have to throw in something that has more damage. I guess it's only a difference of 1, but
Yeah.
at this stage in the game, it doesn't really matter either way, because he's going to lose.
Bible thump.
Alright, well, he finds one with Patron Warrior, and that's sort of a deck that you can pretty much, not guarantee, but count on winning at least one matchup in Conquest at this stage. So we're going to go to Game 5, and the Game 5 is going to be Kalento's Rogue versus Nostem's Warlock, which we actually haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I wonder what he brought. It might be Zoo. Zoo's kind of hard to beat as Rogue sometimes. Rogue can lose to like any Warlock, though. It just really depends on the Rogue's draw.
It seems like Kalento hasn't had the worst draws. He's just had a couple of awkward turns where he just hasn't really had a chance to come back. Like the one turn against Druid where he got Loathebbed. And then,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that
the-
game was like stolen from him.
yeah, and then the one turn where he had to play prep just to combo an SI to clear. Like, just 2 awkward turns in those 2 games. Pretty much just lost it and killed all of his momentum. So
Feels bad, man.
feels bad, man.
Prepping out an SI on turn 4 against a
Yeah.
warrior. Oh man,
All right. Well, it looks like it is going to be
is that a
dragon?
combo lock? Yeah, it might be dragon. It might be combo.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's combo.
It's combo. Yeah,
I was thinking Siphon Soul seems more combo lock
exactly. Yeah,
than Dragon Lock. And Imp King Boss, some Dragon locks.
yeah. Most dragon locks run it now.
Yeah. At
So-
first, people were running the Blackwing Technician, but people
Yeah, the
realized
3/5.
that Imp King Boss was basically a 3/5 most of the time.
Exactly. It's like it does the exact same thing. So except better, especially against aggro.
Yeah. Most of the time, it's at least a 3/5. And then sometimes it can even be even more than that if you can get multiple imps. And sometimes Blackwing Technician, you have to play as a 2/4 anyway. All right. Well, I'm not sure how this matchup is going to go. It feels like that both players are trying to do the same thing. Would just control the board early on and then make big plays later on, where the Warlock's looking for power overwhelming and the Rogue's looking for big oil plays. Feels like the Rogue would have an advantage in that case, but do you have much experience with this matchup?
Not combo lock. I haven't played against a combo lock. I'm not sure if Kalento realizes it's actually like the Arcane Golem version or the Leori version.
Yeah.
But I think that this matchup is favored towards the Rogue. However, Kalento might not put enough pressure because you need pressure, right? Otherwise, the combo lock's just gonna like draw us 30 damage and Raffle stomp your face. So I'm not sure if Kalento realizes that it is combo lock. Like he might take it slower with. Like, combo lock, I think, is a little faster and has more burst than melee lock in a lot of aspects.
Yeah.
So it just depends on if Kalento can, like, see what kind of warlock he's against. And if No Sam can draw into his combo pieces like Emperor, his Faceless, his Charger, he already has double PO. Like, that's pretty scary.
He had to use both his saps early on just to try and stop some of the momentum here from Nosum. He used the first sap on the first Imp Gang boss, but he's developed a little bit of a hold on the board, but it's not going to last long.
Yeah, it can be cleared. Mortal Coil is like so clutch here. Black Knight, wow. It's like the old school list. Old school combo lock.
Yeah, it's full removal. It's like all removal with a couple heals and combo.
Okay, Hellfire. Opposite, just clear it. I like it. Once again, Clento, double oil. Double oil. So much damage.
Yeah. If he's able, like on turn 10, to just have a minion sick for one turn, he's basically already approaching lethal. Or even just drawing into like South Sea Deckhand and a prep is so much damage.
I think he's just debating whether he wants to Loatheb or Drake here.
Yeah.
And I think part of what goes into this decision is whether he thinks it's Mally Lock or not, because Mally Lock runs implosions, and I think he wants to block out like implosions or some kind of spell from No Stam. Also, it deals with the Belcher really effectively, so that's good. Ooh, Ooze! I like that tech. I love that tech. That makes me so happy. Like I love seeing Ooze in these type of decks because like it just crushes Patron Warrior, and it does pretty well against like. Against Rogue, a lot of times you want to like hold your dagger and stuff, but it's awesome. I love that tech.
And you can fit in more stuff in a single turn than Harrison.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really need the card draw because you're just going to be tapping every turn. So it's a nice body against aggro as well. I really like that tech.
Yeah. You feel bad holding Harrison Jones in your opening hand against aggro, but you like feel obligated to anyway. But Ooze is like an automatic keep when you know you're facing an aggro class that runs weapons.
Exactly. Ooh, that Forplosion though. Dark Bomb Coil? Man, that is a very good turn.
That's pretty sick.
That Forplosion was like really, really important. Faceless. Oh man, one more combo piece and Clento's like dead.
Nosum gave a slight smirk when his implosion rolled 1. But it's really hard to not keep a game face when you're going up against Kaleno because he always has the exact same expression on his face.
This Ooze is gonna crush him. This Ooze is so big.
Wow.
I can't even contain myself right now. This Ooze.
I remember you were one of the first players who I saw run Ooze and Handlock back before Mally Lock was popular. Oh my god,
yeah,
7 attacks.
I know. It feels bad, man. Yeah, I like tapping because you know he's out of burst. Heal bot, easy trade, easy game, easy life. Alright. Definitely not over yet. Clento, like, yeah. Basically, the Mally Lock, or the combo lock needs to draw. Oh, Sprint was the best draw he could have gotten, by the way. He needs to draw into his Charger. He might actually have lethal set up on board, I'm not sure. Because he does have the damage from the double POs, which is 8. It just depends.
Yeah, so he's got 9 damage on board plus the double POs, so that's 17 damage total next turn. Doesn't have direct damage from hand either, so it's getting close, and he might, if he can put in a couple damage. Wow,
Shredder, yeah, that's interesting.
Huh.
So much damage.
Shredder's sort of like a weird type of removal, I suppose. It's not really removal, but it's so sticky that you know it's going to trade.
Like 2 for 1?
Yeah, 2 for 1 always.
Exactly. It's like, it's such a good card. You're always like trading down, or like getting more value than it's worth, and I really like it. I like it in that deck. Heal bot tap. Shredder. Okay. Wow. Putting on the pressure.
Yeah. And I don't really think this deck is really known for pressure, but the 4 roll on Implosion really helped him out in that regard.
I think Clento has to prep sprint here, right? Because he needs to draw into his deadly to deal with the board. The board is like way too scary right now.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean though, like Colento's not out of it. He can definitely come back. if he draws into his deck. Nope. Backstab. SI.
Yeah. Well, you can hope for Doomsayer.
Definitely can. I think that's what he's going for. You can clear up most of the board, but oh. This backstab SI. I don't think Kalento's dead yet. He's close.
Very close.
Is he?
I think he's still
No,
dead.
he's dead. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
even
dead.
if he backstabbed SIs, there's still...
Well, you can flurry.
Okay.
It looks like he's going for it. Nice. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good play.
Yeah. Flurry removes just enough.
And I really, really like this eviscerate because basically he's not giving No Stim the chance to use those POs. Like No Stim needs the charger now to win the game.
Wow. All right. Can he draw it?
Oh my goodness! Oh my god!
Off the
So
top.
clutch. Looks like
Yeah.
No Stim's gonna take out Kalento, but Kalento's still in the tournament. He's
Yeah.
in the losers bracket, right?
Yeah. So basically, these are GSL style groups. If you're not familiar with that, 4 players in each group. 2 players play each other on both ends, and then the winners play each other, and the losers play each other. And then from there, it's basically double elimination. So Kalento will still have another shot. He'll basically play the loser of Eldritch and Wafster, which I believe will be the next matchup. And of course, Nostem, he's just 1 win away from securing a spot in the playoff stage on a Sunday. So winning that first match is a big deal because it means you have sort of an easier road. You just have to win 1 more match, and you have 2 losses as sort of like padding to get you through the rest of the day. And of course, yeah, Nostem will move on to face the winner of Eldritch and Nostem. But again, guys, just a quick reminder, make sure you head over to geico.onog.gg. You can find there all the information about the tournament, about GEICO points, and about the feature tournaments and the grand finals at PAX. You can also get a quote from GEICO, who, of course, is the premier sponsor for this event. And you can also enter in a chance to win an official TSM PC. It is a global giveaway, so anybody can enter to win that. And just follow the instructions on screen. And of course, since TSM is under the GEICO umbrella, that's why it's a TSM PC. So if you are a big fan, make sure you head over to that website and enter in for your chance to win. But the next matchup is going to be Eldritch versus Wafster. We're going to take a 2-minute break, but don't go anywhere. More One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit returns right after this. Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome back to the One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit. This is the feature tournament number 1. My name is Osmo Cutie. I'm joined by Dog. What do you think of that last match there, Dog?
It was pretty fun, exciting. I always like the underdog to win, which I mean, I know when you're a caster, you're not supposed to have an opinion on things, and you don't you're not supposed to root for people. But I really like it when underdogs win. It's always good.
Yeah, we're no opinions allowed. No opinions allowed. But yeah, Nosum is going to move on to the winners match of this Group A, and Clento is going to move on to the losers match. But for now, we are going to move on to the second match of Group A. It is going to be Eldritch versus Wafster. Now, Eldritch was the player who qualified by having the most GEICO points from the EU regions. So he placed consistently the highest in the first 2 EU qualifiers. And Wafster was the player to win the North American qualifier number 2, which happened earlier this week. So he was the winner of that. He won a bunch of GEICO points as well. And so he's going to be the second player in this matchup. We can see their decks on the screen. Wafster is actually on Team Gooby Storm. So I believe it's with Gooby Sencho and just some ladder players like that. I see these guys on the ladder all the time. They play ladder all the time. Pretty much, if in every single ladder session I've ever played, I queue up against Wafster at least once.
Yeah, Wafster plays a ton. I'm actually pretty good friends with him, and he was pretty excited about winning this, and he's definitely trying to make a name for himself. So he has the motivation. He plays a ton, and he is always pretty high rated.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and
he brought some interesting decks also. I mean, Paladin. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, Paladin. I actually really like Paladin. It's one of the decks that I always think people sort of underrate going into tournaments. And I actually have arguments, well, not arguments, friendly arguments with Monk all the time, with Monk from Liquid, who's one of the organizers of this tournament. Yeah, discussions about Paladin. And I guess it's sort of an argument with you as well, but just not with you, because it's about the Liquid power rankings and how they always, all the players always rate Paladin so low. And so I always say, oh, Paladin should be higher. Oh, you have mid-range Druid at number 1. Why isn't Paladin higher? Stuff like that. The number 1, 2, 3 is mid-range Druid, Control Warrior, Warlock. Why isn't mid-range Paladin higher? But yeah, I really like Paladin. Long story short. So it looks like the players are getting ready. And
I don't know. I do the rankings, and I always put Paladin pretty low. I don't know how I feel about Paladin.
And you always put Rogue really high, man.
Yeah, Rogue's always up there. It's because Rogue's the best. Yeah. Every Rogue player will agree with me.
Well, there's so many Rogue players that do those rankings, and Rogue players hate. Well, they don't hate Paladins. They just think that Paladins are weak because they always beat Paladins when they play them. If you're a Rogue player,
exactly. They muster you fan.
Yeah,
they cry.
Exactly, and then you just win the game from there. So it looks like we are going to jump into the first match here. It's going to be Warlock for Eldritch and Warrior for Wafster. And judging by this opening hand, it looks like it's Control Warrior.
Yeah, it's a fancy portrait. Dang.
Oh, yeah, wow.
I know, it's shiny. It's
what if we can get some emotes out of Wafster?
Oh, man.
Yeah, once again, we're going to try and get Eldritch's hand as quick as possible. But for now, once again, we will roleplay as Wafster. Man,
the Owl is actually really sick in this matchup, just because you don't have to use an execute on a Drake. You can clear it with just the Owl, so it gives you more removal. The handlock matchup it's interesting to play out, right? So the way I like to play it is you don't attack at all. You just never want them to play Moldens, and you just sit and use all your removal on their other threats. Because they run 2 Drakes, 2 Giants, and maybe a Boom, something like that. And we can see he runs Rag. That's a pretty greedy list, but still. So you can deal with all of those threats with Shield Slams, Executes, and maybe just face tanking stuff. And then they can't play anything else because they don't have any more threats.
Yeah.
But there's also the phase tank approach and a couple other fun ones. Owl.
We're not going to get to see the armor up animation just yet, but it's going to come, I promise. It's going to happen at least once this game. Unless Eldritch just gets fed up and concedes.
I'd be so sad.
Alright, well, we can see the hand of Eldritch now. And I feel like traditional hand lock is kind of risky to bring right now. I feel like the other lists have more consistent win rates. I guess it's more predictable. Like I'm talking about like Mallylock. Like so many players are bringing Mallylock just because it has such consistent matchups.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. It's I don't know. It's like hard, right? Because like Druid's not very good right now, and like you kind of want to bring. I don't know. The bad matchups for Handlock aren't that many. Like it's Druid and like some other things. So I think it's like fine to bring. It's just I think the other Warlocks are a little bit better right now, and that's why I think Handlock is like falling out a little bit.
Oh, there it is.
So beautiful.
Craigasm.
So beautiful.
Like I always think it's something else. Oh, it's a hammer. Oh no, he's armoring up every single time. I've seen an animation 50 times now. Oh, Wafster, stylish.
Yeah, I like the hat.
Yep,
It's fancy.
that's his ladder hat.
This is letter. He needs to put on his tournament hat.
Yeah. Wrong hat, Wafster. All right. Well, what are your thoughts on this matchup in general? I've played a lot of Control Warrior, and Handlock is my least favorite matchup. Not because it's bad, but just because I hate it. So, what are your thoughts on Handlock
Takes
versus?
forever. As I said, like, because I used to practice with Purple, and he taught me just like he was like, the way you win that matchup is just don't attack. So once I started doing that, I mean, obviously you can't do that every game because things change. Like you might, oh, I have like this really sick hand with Grom. I might as well like try to go in, or like, oh, I just lost because I didn't have execute, and he hit me in the face with a giant 4 times. But yeah, ever since he taught me like not to attack, I have been winning this matchup a lot more as the Warrior. So I think it's Warrior favored, but yeah, it's very easy to play differently and possibly lose.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, because you only have a limited amount of removal for their threats, and the longer you stall until the point where they can throw Molten Giants, the more opportunities you have to draw into more removal. Because they're going to get within like your combo range eventually, because they're going to tap enough to the point where they're going to get to 15, 14 health eventually in the matchup. So
exactly,
you're not in a rush.
Siphon.
Yeah. Whoa.
Siphon's so weird. Like, I like it.
It's so weird.
Well, like,
I love it.
so like Zixo always gets mad at me for like including a Siphon in my Handlock deck, and he's just like, it's terrible. Like, you lose so much tempo from it. Like, they play Emperor and you play Siphon, you lost so much tempo, and he just like keeps like talking about the tempo, and I'm just like, yeah, but like in this instance, right? Like, it cleared to Sylvanas. It was pretty good. He was able to tap. But it's just like an interesting card because it's mostly been replaced by a BGH or something.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see.
Sneed is actually pretty problematic. He can silence it, but if he silences it, it's still a 5/7 body that's going to deal with like Sludge Belcher next turn. If he deals with it now and then something more impactful comes out, then he could be in some trouble. Like, what if it hits Sneeds and then Sneed spawns a Ragnaros and then his Ragnaros hits his Ragnaros?
The dream. Kill Sneed, summon KT, have that fiasco again.
Oh, jeez.
I wonder if he's just going to go in. Like, Alex face. I don't really like that.
It's very bold. Very bold. This is actually I think just Dr. Boom. No, because Dr. Boom plays into... I guess it doesn't really play too much into Shadow Flame.
I wouldn't mind Dr. Boom here. Are you just going to, like, let Rag... Oh, he's not attacking. Okay, that makes sense. All right.
He's going for the dream here. He needs the Sneeds to summon something good, but I can imagine that it's going to get silenced. I don't know if there's that many other silence targets in Warrior because he's already been through Sylvanas, and that's usually the only one.
Yeah.
So, or there are some like smaller ones, like Sludge Belcher. Sometimes you can silence, but
yeah, Sylvanas for sure. I think he's like trying to fake setting up for lethal, because like that was kind of a weak turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Eldritch is like, oh, like if I don't taunt this turn, I'm gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's like gonna play the Molten and the Sun Fury, but I'd like to see a tap here. I don't really see the reason not to tap, because like you have 2 taunts up, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you tap in this scenario? I don't know. It's interesting. Base.
Ooh.
He also doesn't want to play too much into Brawl, so this is probably the most he's going to commit to board.
Well, this isn't. He doesn't have a way to deal with everything here. He can throw in Sneeds and see what he gets. King Crush, the dream.
King Crush. KT's the dream.
Scenarios is above average, I think.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. 5'8" is not the best against handlock, maybe, but it's still a reasonable sized body, and the stat value that he ended up getting out of that Sneeds is pretty ridiculous. So, he's still going to be in a pretty good position here.
Still better than Nat Piggle.
Yeah.
Oh
or
God.
like Blood Mage, or there's actually a lot of bad legendaries. So
Exactly.
anything that you get that's like above 8 mana, you're pretty happy with, just because the body's huge.
The best is just like getting infinite Sneeds. Oh man, that feels so good. Sneeds and KT off of Sneeds is like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
First, can he kill him? No, he can't. He has 16 damage. He silenced the Sludge Belcher.
Yeah.
And now,
This
what's
is-
the best way?
This is awkward. I don't know. I think you tap. Heal bot.
He's playing very scared at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it was because like he believes that Lobster has the the Grommash combo in hand, but
Yeah.
like he didn't need to play both of those, did he? I think a Belcher would have been enough.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think most of the reason why Handlock is so good against Warrior, not that it's like super favored or anything, is that you can tap for more cards and you can leverage that, but I don't really see him doing that right now. It's interesting. He's probably just like really scared. I mean, you don't really want to like, die, obviously.
Yeah.
Kind of the point of the game, not to die.
But also the point of the game is to win.
That is true, and he is, in my opinion, not really playing for that right
No.
now.
Acolyte of Pain, I think, is a really good draw for Wafter at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, it played like perfectly into the death play, right?
Yeah.
Flawless.
He even has Cool Taskmaster get a second draw out of it if he really decides that he needs one. But
I think he's going to. I like attacking with the unit first. That way it weakens the slime if you want to connect damage with the Cool Taskmaster. But I think he's going to save that for his Grommash activator.
combo, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because you have to sort of threaten that. The more combo pieces you throw away, the riskier the handlock is going to play, and he could punish you for that.
Okay, so it looks like he just wants to clear the board. That's interesting. I like it. It's not too bad. It plays into the Hellfire a little, like, too much, but
Yeah.
still.
A lot.
Yeah.
Hellfire Mortar Coil is pretty good.
Yeah, but he wanted to clear off the 2-1 with the Shield Slam, which is right, because if he didn't have the Mortal Coil, then, his board wouldn't have been cleared.
Yeah. Wafter still has initiative, though, because Eldritch isn't going to be able to play anything after this Hellfire Mortal Coil. And Jargon to Execute's pretty good. He can get through another big threat that's going to be popped down. He actually hasn't seen too many threats coming out of Eldritch, so he needs to make sure the rest of, and he's used one Shield Slam on a 2-1, so he needs to make sure that he holds on to the rest of this removal.
Oh man. Yeah, that BGH is pretty good. I think you just like slam the mountain. You could even tap if you want. I mean, you shouldn't be like too scared, right? You saw Cruel Taskmaster.
I don't know. He's played really safe so far. What's the
It's
safest play he could possibly make? Anti-Killbot Sludge Belcher. No,
Yep, anti-Keelbot Belcher. Is he? Oh, okay, never mind. I thought he was like grabbing.
no, he grabbed the giant.
You could get away with a tap here. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. If you're going to play Big Game Hunter, I don't think there's any reason. Well, yeah, because he could tap, play Mountain, and play
Yeah,
GH.
and the BGH. Yep. So like mana inefficient. It's so weird. I guess it works. He wants to silence a Boombot. Okay,
Yeah.
that works out. Yeah, all good.
Sludge Belcher.
Still would have liked to see a tap.
Yeah.
I wanted to tap, man.
I mean, he might be playing the really long game and saying,
Oh yeah,
hey,
like
this
the
one's going to go to
fatigue, right?
fatigue.
Exactly. Yeah, he just starts mortal coiling the acolytes.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He also might want to get the Twilight Drake down first to get out some removal, but that's really wishful thinking. In order to make pave a better path for the Mountain Giant.
Yeah. I think Waster should have Alex there. I think he should have Alex first, and then because the Boombot hit face, right? He would have gotten
Yeah.
extra damage.
Yeah.
But not too big of a deal. It did only hit for 1, right?
Mm-hmm. So he can remove the Alexstrasza, but it feels like just playing double 5-drop
Yeah.
is going to be the right play.
That Mountain Giant's just sitting in his hand.
I mean, once he clears the board, he realizes that Wafter's running out of cards.
Yeah, Waster's almost dead also.
Yeah, that's very true. He's at 11 health.
Yeah.
Something I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to his life total.
It's not something you really pay attention to a lot of the times.
Warriors at 11, Warriors at 110, same thing.
Yeah.
Brawl.
Hmm.
I don't think it calls for a brawl just yet.
Then again, yeah, the curve is just really weird, because he can't play both of his threats. He can't play Shield Maiden and Sludge Belcher on the same turn. And how big is the board going to get from this point out? Like, he's got 3 cards in his hand. Is he really going to play more than 3 creatures? I know they're weak, but
He can curve out perfectly. You play the Belcher and you play the Brawl.
yeah, that's true.
So much value. It's interesting. Brawl. Okay, that's not too bad. And just toss the Belcher out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Can't be mad.
He'd want Alexstrasza to come out in the perfect world, but
He's just. Why isn't he tapping? Is he? It's interesting.
he's just playing the long game.
It's like a long game. Oh man, that revenge deck. Actually, I like revenge, especially in like matches like these. It can definitely win you a game against Patron, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, especially against Patron, because a lot of times you're taking a lot of damage from weapons, you're getting low anyway from that matchup, so having that basically miniature flame strike can be a really big deal. Even just having a second whirlwind can sometimes be.
Exactly, yeah. Especially against Hunter. They drop double Leopard Gnome. You just whirlwind, they concede.
I don't think it usually works like that.
That's how it works with me.
I need to change my ladder name to Dog, I guess.
Oh man. You just get roped every turn. Start crying. Alright. Alright, he's going in. He has Jiraxis also. I don't see how Lobster really comes back from this position though. Like, how is he gonna kill Eldritch? He needs to draw like a Deathbite and just smack face. I think that's how he wins this game.
Draw Deathbite, smack face, hope he doesn't have taunt.
Pretty much.
But even if he draws Deathbite, smacks face, Eldritch can just Jiraxis.
Yeah, but
it puts him out of range.
yeah, it's true. Oh man.
Yeah, and he's basically on a clock now with 16 damage staring at him on the board. And he is, it's lethal next turn
Yeah.
with armor.
Ooh, oh, if he plays Jiraxis, oh, that'd be so sick.
Wow, but how many cards does Wofster have left? I don't know if he can even afford to play it.
That's true.
He's probably still going to lose in that case. Well, no, I don't know, because he'll have 8 cards.
You might, wow, that's awkward. But, because, like, you don't want to taunt your giant, and then you need to kill off the Grommash. But he might run, like, a BGH, right? Like, we didn't see one yet. Usually, Warriors run BGH because it combos so well with Cruel Taskmaster.
He's going to have to Shadow Flame his Watcher.
Oh, man.
Is he scared of that? I don't think so.
I don't know. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I like it.
Now I really don't see a way that that Wofster
Posture.
can win. Yeah.
Oof. I think that's no. He can revenge in armor. Next turn, top deck into a. Oh, he's playing that. I guess that's fine. It trades with the giant, right?
Yeah.
Still in it to win it.
But he's dead anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right, Draxus.
The
I
Draxus
forgot.
kill.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
So it feels like Wofster, even though Eldritch played super safe, it feels like Wofster used his removal pretty inefficiently in that matchup. He used Shield Slam on a 2-1 Sunfury Protector, which, I mean, you're not guaranteed to have armor for like the rest of the game, and having a clean board feels good, but it was just a rough matchup. He kept having to play reactively. Eldritch wasn't giving him much. He saved his big threats until the end, and by that time, Wofster was out of removal.
Yeah, I agree. It came down to like he had to remove the Moltons also. He had the removal for everything, but like not the Moltons included.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough. Let's see, what does Wofster have left? Paladin, Warlock, and Warrior. Eldritch has Warrior, Mage, and Warlock.
Yeah.
So he has the Warrior and Mage left.
Now so far today we've seen 3 Patron Warriors and 1 Control Warrior,
Yeah.
and this looks like it's going to be Patron. So it's going to be Control Warrior versus Patron Warrior.
The bad thing is, Wofster already showed his like tech, right? He already showed the revenge. So Eldritch is probably going to be smart enough to play around that, I would say. Which it won't catch him off surprise, so that card is pretty much worthless in the deck if he is playing around it. Yeah, that's about it. That's what kind of sucks about losing in Conquest, because they kind of know your deck.
Yeah.
And you're like more at a disadvantage if you lose in many aspects.
You're punished for losing.
Exactly. God.
Even more so than just the fact that you lost.
Feels bad.
All right. Well, this matchup is still Control favored, I'd say. We didn't see double brawl from Wofster, which is another card that can make this matchup a little bit better. But the Revenge Tech is a pretty good card sometimes, and we'll have to see. Wofster is channeling his...
Oh man, he is just going crazy.
Looks like he's listening to some smooth jazz. Getting in the mood.
What card is that?
So basically, if you can get a big board down against Control Warrior, and they don't have Brawl, then you win. But there's a lot of ways for Warrior to sort of pick off patrons and sort of stop your momentum. They can like Shield Slam, execute, and slam them with a weapon. A lot of them, like I said, tech in double Brawl, so they can just use Brawl on your first push and then use Brawl on your second push. And they gain so much life over the course of the game that a lot of times you can never get enough momentum, and you have to rely on getting a big frothing later on. But if they draw duds and you get a big swing on turn 5 where you can Despite on turn 4, Grim Patron on turn 5 with Inner Rage and Despite swing, then sometimes you can just win the game from there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Eldritch does that, because like he already has his Despite set up, right? He has Inner Rage and like Patron, so he can go pretty hard on turn 5. It's just depends what Wofster does. Like this turn's kind of hard as well. I think just maybe dropping the Acolyte is fine. Don't really see any other play.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to see that attack last turn. That way it would have played around a Cruel Taskmaster on it to kill the Acolyte. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But it's fine this turn as well.
And this is sort of a weird position for Eldritch as well, because he wants to save the Despite for next turn where he can Patron, but he also wants to deny draw because next turn he's going to be able to throw his Acolyte in for a free draw on the Armorsmith regardless. So I think that preserving the second charge of Despite is more important. And another interesting thing is Eldritch actually runs the shield blocks. So he's got more cycle.
Yeah. He's running that version.
Yeah. And shield slam.
Ooh, can't use it though. I think preserving the dust bite's probably just correct.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, whenever you do this and you go all in on your first patron, and you leave up their acolyte, they're getting more draws, so they have a higher chance of getting into their brawl, things like that. So it's usually better to limit the warrior's draw, but in this case, I mean, you're not going to waste your second charge of dust bite like this. Ooh, wow! Oh my goodness, that draw.
That is absurd.
Just draw 3 cards real quick.
Yeah.
Two.
And I mean that was like the perfect draw because not only did he get rid of the Death Bite, which we see that Eldritch was setting up for a big turn 5 combo, he also got another draw off his Acolyte.
Yeah, that was a pretty good draw. pretty good draw.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts on this specific Grim Patron list with the shield blocks and the shield slam? So you usually cut out like big threats like Grom in this list?
I don't like it as much. It is better in some matchups and it's worse in other matchups, obviously. Like, helps you in Rogue because usually you need the life gain. But I ultimately just like adding in more cycle to the Patron deck because I like playing it like a Miracle Rogue deck where, you have to draw into your certain combo pieces, like your Auctioneer or something like that. You need to draw into your Emperor, in this case, or your Warsong Commander. So I just like more cycle as opposed to the Shield Slams. But it's just preference.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a pretty good card also.
Yeah.
I like these cards.
Yeah, that's about as much value as you're going to get out of it. Like, his hand is just filled with expensive drops, and he's got an 8-card hand, basically giving him summon a 5/5, draw 4 innervates.
Oh, man. Commanding Shout also. Interesting.
Wow, there's a lot of like interesting tech. I don't know. I'm not sure what he's cutting. I'm sure he's like slams and like some of the top end, like Grom.
Yeah.
Maybe like Gnomish Inventor.
I like Gnomish a lot. It's really good for proccing Battle Rages. You want units with like a decent amount of HP because most of the time you run double Battle Rage and it's hard to find activators if you run like double Loot Hoarder and stuff. Oh, you probably cut the Loot Hoarders also. That makes sense.
That's true. That's true.
Makes sense. So if you're Wafster here, what do you play?
7 total mana.
You haven't seen an execute yet, have you?
No. Did see one shield slam. Seems like even though you're using mana sort of inefficiently,
I think
just
Boom.
play Dr. Boom here.
Yeah. And he's like not on the other warrior's not on 8 mana, so he can't use the Warsong combo anyways. So
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, solid.
Acolyte of Pain. Doesn't do too much. It is cycle. Commanding Shout could help in this matchup if he can get to a point in the game where he can actually play Warsong Commander plus Grim Patrons.
Yeah, commanding definitely can help against warrior. But Eldritch's hand is just not that great right now. Sure, you can remove the boom, but what do you follow that up with? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
There, that fixed the problem a little bit.
Now he can just take out the Dr. Boom with the Shield Slam, set him next turn to where he can Warsong and Grim Patron. And
Ooh, gets 2 draws off that also, dang.
Yeah. Also has Inner Rage for next turn as well. Do you think he'll get greedy and try and set up a Death Bite before he does that?
It depends how many times he can propagate his Grim Patrons, ultimately.
Yeah.
I don't think that attack was necessary either, because I think Wafster's probably going to sacrifice his low HP minions for the Grim Patrons. So do you just, like, Alex's face, take initiative, try to, like, go on that killing plan? Because you have Grom, Cool Taskmaster in your hand. That doesn't even set up for lethal because he has so much armor. You could go for the... I don't know. Is there another play?
I don't really think so. I think Alex Strauss is great because it puts him on the defensive, which is going to interrupt like plays that he wants to make. Because the Grim Patron Warrior sort of plays similar to, like you said, Miracle Rogue, where they're not really worried too much about what you're doing. They're worried about what they're doing and trying to set up their combos.
Yeah.
But Alex Strasza sort of throws a wrench in that plan. All of a sudden, the plan that they had to perfectly fill out their curve the next turn is ruined because now they have to worry about dying. And I Execute being in the hand is pretty good because he's going to be able to block the 8 damage from Alex Strasza, but he's still starting to get pretty low. 9 armor, it makes a big deal, though, in this situation. Having those shield slams really actually ends up being pretty big.
Yeah, it really does. I agree. Oh, he was thinking of Warsonging there. That's interesting. What would you Warsong?
I don't even know. He wouldn't have enough mana to use Commanding Shout. I don't really know.
He has to execute that for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe just set up the Deathbite, Smack Face.
Yeah.
It's probably the best thing to do. I'm not actually sure.
No, I think that is.
Yeah, I think you just need to start getting aggressive.
Yeah. And none of these cards are cards that you want to play by themselves. Like Frothing Berserker, Grim Patron, Warsong Commander. Frothing Berserker in some matchups you want to play by yourself, but you need the reach in this matchup.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, there we go. There's a deck card.
He's not low enough. Oh no.
It's scary though. Like, do you want to play a Belcher because he could propagate the patrons off those? Like, it's hard to decide what to play.
Yep.
Because like you don't have the brawl. It'd be so much easier if you had the brawl because you're like, oh, if he goes in, like he'll lose because I'll just brawl the board and like game over, right?
Yeah.
But it's a lot harder whenever you don't have an answer. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of damage. Also, double frothing. Whirlwind. I mean, the Belcher blocks it, but
yeah,
it's still a lot.
Well, it's a good thing he actually played the Belcher because I'm pretty sure he would have been dead otherwise. Because with 4 damage to face, he would have been at 18, so he would have had to do 9 damage with both the Frothings.
Yeah,
which I think was possible. Yeah. So playing the Sludge Belcher actually ended up being right, even though he's going to be able to get lots of Grim Patrons. I think he would have been dead otherwise.
Oh man, everybody's getting in here. It's a
geez.
patron party. So you smack with your weapon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't care. He might try to go for the approach of... Okay, no, good. Alright, I was going to say that would be done without the second commander.
Like use the Grim Patrons, you're saying use the Grim Patrons to clear and then set up, keep the Deathbite to set up for Frothings. Yeah.
Man. Sounds like a bad play.
Yeah.
Alright, smack face a few times.
Well, is he going to put him below?
Whoa, does he have enough time for this?
I don't think he's playing around revenge, it feels like.
Oh, yeah. I like it. Very good. Ooh, and the brawl. Is that even worth it? Waster has no removal in hand. Does he?
Wow. Well, BGH, but it's not really removable. That is really rough.
Could you have just like ran Grommin and then like silenced one of them? I wonder. Okay, he can silence if he wants.
I think that's probably the best target for him to come out of that, because I don't think you want Warsong Commander.
Yeah, Warsong would have been like devastating. That's the one card you have to clear all the time.
Yeah.
So you can Inner Rage and then Commanding Shout, I guess?
Yeah.
But your other 3/3 doesn't get charged. So wouldn't you have wanted to Commanding Shout first? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he realized that.
I think he wanted his Frothings to get buffed also.
Yeah.
I think that was the issue.
Yeah. Well, now he's in an awkward spot, because now if he Commanding Shouts, it basically just solidified the fact that he made a mistake. That always changes my line of play. Whenever you make a mistake, you always change your line of play.
You don't let people know that you made a mistake, right? You're just like, oh, I didn't want to do this anyways.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, the Whirlwind doesn't spawn.
Waster needs a weapon. If he gets a weapon, he can... the Whirlwind spawns everything, right? Because it doesn't kill the patron.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Waster needs to draw into a weapon, and then he can get himself sub 12.
Yeah.
And then clear the board.
The Whirlwind actually doesn't summon a patron from the patron that's at 1 health. Because
it doesn't?
No, because technically it's not taking damage.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
even though it shows up as 1 damage on the Grim Patron, since it's already at 1 health, it's not taking damage. So he only summons 2 extra there from the 2 full health patrons that he had.
I actually have never played with Commanding Shout, but that's really good to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was very sad the first time that happened.
Silly. I guess you just like tank up and hope you draw into a weapon or something. I have no idea. This is difficult.
It's so awkward because Eldritch. I mean, I think he did it on purpose. He cleared to play around Revenge because he saw the Revenge in the last matchup.
Yeah.
Revenge would be a perfect clear here, but he's not.
I guess you
enough to get there.
can Gromosh also. Shield same thing-ish. PGH. Okay, I like it. It's good. Protects you. Battle Rage would be the best draw for Eldritch. Didn't get it. Yeah, I think you just have to go in if you're Eldritch right now. You just put all the cards on the table.
Yeah. You saw that he didn't really have efficient ways to remove your board last turn. He didn't have Brawl, obviously. He's not low enough to be able to use Revenge. He threw out BGH just to try and answer, so you know he's not going to have ways to deal with these Frothing Berserkers. And these things are going to get huge. They're already at 6/6, so he's got 15 damage staring him on the board next turn. He does have Owl. The one thing he can be happy about is that Eldritch is completely out of cards. And if he finds a way to remove a couple of these guys, which he does have ways, then he can limit the effect of Battle Rage. I don't know. It's starting to look a little bit rough for Eldritch.
So you can Gromosh one of them. Do you silence the Patron? Or do you silence the Frothing?
He silenced the Frothing. Because you know the Frothing's already going to be at 8 attack.
But do you really want him to get a free Patron? I guess it doesn't matter if it's at 1 HP.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I guess it's a little scary. There's a 8/4 on board. He can probably kill you. It's a whirlwind.
Because he can just throw in his Patron, and then all of a sudden he's got a 10/4 Frothing Berserker on the board.
Yeah, I think I like silencing the Frothing as well.
He's really
Yeah, exactly. And here comes the decision. Or the indecision, rather. All right.
wow.
The Patron.
Okay.
That's all right.
Well, what punishes him here? Not Emperor Thorsan.
Man, that card's so OP. Look, all of his cards cost nothing now. Jeez.
He definitely wanted to see that like 8 turns earlier. But I mean, it's still a body, and he's still gonna smack the face for 10. And actually, okay.
Buster, he can clear with the Revenge.
Yeah, Revenge is activated now.
So attack in, Revenge, Cruel Taskmaster, clear board. It's value.
Yep. And now Eldritch, I mean, Battle Rage draws him 1 card. He has Warsong Commander, but no Grim Patrons and no Frothing Berserkers left in his deck.
It's gonna be a pretty uphill battle for Eldritch right now. But look how much HP he has. He's at 30.
Yeah,
So
but he only has
strong.
6 cards left, and like one is a Fire War Axe, one is a Warsong Commander.
He realizes he has
Yeah.
no win conditions left.
I'm pretty sure one's a Whirlwind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing left for him. So he's gonna tie up the series 1-1, and the Control Warrior is out of the way. At least he can take that. But
Yeah,
each,
exactly.
and Warrior's still left for Eldritch, and Warlock and Paladin still left for.
What kind of maze do you think that is? Tempo or like freeze? Probably tempo, right?
It doesn't say anything in his bio that would indicate either way. We don't really know too much about Eldritch, and I can't quite remember what he played. He might not. I can't remember.
It'd be pretty ballsy to bring freeze mage in this
Yeah.
meta. Like, I'd be impressed.
With all the warriors.
Exactly. It's scary out there. It's scary.
Yeah. But there have been some players that have brought it and have had reasonable success with it because it still does do well against like warlocks. But I don't even know how the Malagos warlock matchup works against Freeze Mage.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I think I know Purple Drink Purple Drink brought it to what was it? DreamHack Summer. Yeah. And he was like 4-0 with it. I mean, he got out in groups. He went like 5-2, but he like got really far with it. So I don't know. It's definitely like still good, but it's just so scary because you know you're gonna lose the warrior matchup like every single time, and you're just like everyone brings a warrior. Warrior's so popular right now.
You have to be really confident in your freeze mage to bring it to an environment like this.
Yeah, for sure.
I've actually seen more control warriors losing to freeze mages in the past month than I've seen in the rest of my Hearthstone career combined. But because people aren't expecting freeze mage, they aren't like well practiced in the freeze mage matchup, and of course Emperor Thorsan just made the matchup like 10 times better.
Yeah, exactly. For the freeze mage, it actually makes it winnable.
Yeah.
Like, it's not unexcusable to lose now. you can definitely lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not shamed for the rest of eternity by all of your peers if you lose to control warrior, or if you lose to freeze mage as control warrior anymore. Long gone are those days. But yeah, the players are just taking a quick break real quick to go to the bathroom, but we should be jumping right into game number 3 really quickly here in just a second. We can take this opportunity to remind you guys to head over to geico.onog.gg. It's an official website for the tournament. You can get all the information about the tournament, including upcoming matches, the breakdown of GEICO points, when the next feature tournament is, and who's going to be playing in it. And you can also get a quote from GEICO. Of course, GEICO being the premier sponsor for this tournament. They're the guys that allow us to give out $60,000 over the course of this summer circuit. And you can also enter in to win an official TSM PC. So make sure you head over to that site and enter in to win your PC. Maybe get a GEICO quote as well. But we are jumping into game number 3 of this second match of the day. It's going to be Eldritch, and it is Freeze Mage versus the Warlock from Watson.
Freeze Mage is pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot. And looks like it's going to be like Handlock. I guess we can't really tell what kind of Warlock it is yet. But Freeze Mage, definitely exciting. I'm expecting him to just like throw all that away. Yeah. Doomsayer you can keep, but ultimately you just want to get your cycle.
Yep. Well, looks... well, that doesn't tell us anything either. All right,
okay,
it's Malagos.
There we go. All right.
That makes it easy.
Suddenly we just see double PO. We're just like, what?
Well, Bane of Doom is interesting in this in this deck. I've seen a few players run it, but I'd say it's one of the rare cards that you find in Malagos Row.
Gotta believe in RNGesus.
Yeah,
RNGesus there. I guess it works with Malagos, right? I didn't even think about that.
It does, but just have to have Malagos on the board for a turn without.
Or you just have to, get Emperor for like 5 turns, easy.
Yeah, and keep coin.
Keep coin.
Well, I guess we'll see how this matchup works. I don't think Bane of Doom's really going to do too much in this matchup. I just feel like you don't pressure enough.
I think the Malagos Warlock is favored, but that's only if you keep the Owl, for the Doomsayers, things like that. If you play it really smart, I feel like Malagos can definitely win. If you draw into a Drake early like this, that thing is going to hit him in the face 10 times over the course of this game.
Yeah. 10 times.
Yeah. Just develop the Ice Block, I think, is the best play here.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really do much else.
Yeah. You also have a lot of damage from hand, as even if you don't play Malagos, you can still burst
sneak
through
in.
freeze. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He needs to put on pressure early, though, in order to not allow the Freeze Mage to do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Okay, so I think this turn you probably just have to Acolyte. I don't really see anything else. You're not going to Frost Nova 1 minion. You're not going to overdraw, are you? There's 3, 4, 5 now. You're fine. Yeah, Acolyte ping is pretty solid. Oh.
Yeah, so he Acolyte pings, he'd be at 8 cards. Yeah, he could overdraw him, double mortal coil on the and
So
swing
much
in.
value. Wow, that's interesting. Frost Nova being 4 damage.
It feels like it's more for just the preemptive.
tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, definitely going to get owled. You don't want to lose your board. I guess you tap. Would he overdraw? 1, 2, 3?
He just passed. Yeah, he would have
He
overdrawn.
would overdraw. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He would have had to throw out a mortal coil on nothing.
I wouldn't have minded him playing a BGH there, honestly. Like, you probably run 2 in that deck. And
Yeah.
you just want more pressure as quickly as possible. So
The only BGH target in the whole deck is Alex Strauza.
Exactly.
It could be Giant Mage.
Oh, there you go. You can never tell at this point, right?
Yeah. It's rare, but I've actually probably seen, at least on ladder, more Giants Mages than Freeze Mages lately.
They're everywhere, man. They're everywhere.
Yeah. So maybe he's playing around the possibility of that, but it's hard to say. And now this turn becomes a little bit problematic. He's not going to fit the curve very well. I think now you Accolade Ping.
Yeah, you have to Accolade Ping.
Which it could have been quite a bit better if he did this last turn. And being able to set up for Frost Nova Doomsayer. But he really wanted to try and gain that tempo advantage and ruin the turn 5 play from the Warlock.
Yeah. I mean, if he did it this turn also, he could have set up for like an Archmage. But I mean, he had the Owl anyway, so it's irrelevant.
All right, well, I think it's prime time for a Bane of Doom.
Oh, baby. Mal'Ganis time.
Oh, baby.
Euraxis. Aw, so anticlimactic.
Oh, man.
I was like, edge of my seat. Little flame imp. So sad.
Even though it's Flame Imp, Bane of Doom is still a pretty valuable card.
Yeah, it also gives you extra reach. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, oh, he used both Dark Bombs, both Hellfires. He has no more reach in hand. Suddenly, Bane of Doom face. It's nice like that.
Before Bane of Doom was, I guess, quote unquote, buffed, a lot of people didn't know that you could hit Bane of Doom to face.
I didn't. I definitely didn't.
There you go. I didn't either. Confessions.
Confessions from pro Hearthstone players.
Yeah. Well, this is
awkward as well.
He can develop. He really needs Emperor is what he needs, because he actually has a decent hand for Thorsan, because he's got Archmage Antonidas, he's got Frostbolts, he's got cheap spells, he's missing Ice Lances to have sort of that ideal Emperor hand, but yeah, right now he's got a lot of the burn now, in which he'd want the burn to come later on.
Yeah, it's also kind of a shame he's drawing into his secrets. You really want to get those off like Mad Scientist and stuff. Second Owl is actually pretty important. Guarantees your board's not going to get wiped to like some garbage like a second Doomsayer, Frost Nova, stuff like that.
Yeah, Watcher could also use an Emperor as well, because he's got both Dark Bombs in his hand plus Malagos.
Yeah,
so he gets an Emperor, all of a sudden he could play on turn 10 or with 10 mana Malagos plus double Dark Bomb.
He needs to like dump his hands. It's kind of just sitting there. Like the odds of him drawing into Emperor become so much more or less likely if he's not tapping or if he's not cycling. And I mean, I think the mage is gonna like Alex him anyways, so the health is kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, he drew all of the secrets. It's like really bad for Eldritch.
Yeah.
Feels bad.
Feels really bad. Because now when he draws Mad Scientist later on in the game, it's going to be useless. It's going to be a 2-2.
What did I tell you about that Drake, though? Drake's doing work. It's been on the board since turn 4.
It's attacked 3 times now?
3, 4, something like that.
We're getting closer to 10.
On the way
Mind
up.
attack 10. Got double BGH and double Owl in this deck. So I know double BGH has been pretty standard, especially in the decks that are running like one Abusive Sergeant. I guess double Owl is seen a lot as well. It's a very reactive type of deck up to a certain point.
Yeah. Let's see. Just dump your hand, I guess. Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. I don't know. I don't know if I like that.
It's so passive.
Yeah, like, why not just dump your hands? like sure you have an answer to the Alexstrasza, but you don't set up for lethal, and it's interesting.
Yeah, because now all of a sudden Eldritch has lethal next turn without heal.
Well, yeah, without
Yeah.
the heal, but he has the heal. The thing is, and also like by not playing the Drake there, sure you're trying to play around Flame Strike, but by not playing the Drake there, like you're not cycling to your Emperor, you're not cycling to your second heal bot, things like that you like really desperately need if like the Alex you or something like that happens. Because now like Eldritch has a lot of time. He's not even like Waster doesn't even have lethal next turn. I don't think he's just heal bot whoa. Because he can like play Ice Barrier, Heal Bot, Pink Face, something like that.
Yeah.
He also might go for something like Archmage into Ice Barrier if he feels safe enough to. Just has to do the math on how much damage he can take, because he does need the extra burn.
Can he set up for lethal over 2 turns?
Maybe actually. Yeah, I think so.
So he could Frostbolt Ice Lance this turn. He's going to put him at 16.
No, it's not enough.
No, yeah. He could do 15 damage next turn.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess he has enough burn to kill him over 2 turns.
I don't know. I kind of like the barrier there, maybe.
It would hold his block for another turn.
Yeah. I guess you just have to do the math on it. I would be like, oh, the most I could take is 9 this turn. Malak goes into Soulfire and something like that. But
yeah,
this is probably going to be fine anyways because he has a second block.
Yeah, this route is. He's going to be able to kill you from hand regardless of if you freeze. So he's going to have to kill him over the next 2 turns.
Yeah,
because of the fact that he only has 1 more turn to buy with Ice Block.
Which is possible.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, is he not killing the... Oh, wait, that doesn't kill it, does it?
Okay, he's going to silence it instead. Yeah, he's got to kill it because he needs to limit the amount of burn.
I'd like to see like a coil here. Try to draw into your second heal.
Nope.
Okay.
He doesn't like to draw.
He doesn't like to draw, apparently. Maybe he only runs 1 heal bot. Maybe I'm the idiot here. Who knows?
His deck feels like a double heal bot no matter what kind of deck. I don't... We'll see. But it looks like Eldritch, as long as he's calculated enough damage, he can put... So he plays Ice Block here, Fireball, Frostbolt. That'll
block, Fireball,
put him at 7. And then he wouldn't have lethal the next turn if he heal botted.
Would heal bot be lethal? Because now if you coil, like you only get 1 shot at heal bot. Yeah. Because you have to play the Drake, which is 5 mana, so it's like 4 mana left over.
Yeah.
So we'll see though. He can still top deck it. Stuff like that. I don't really see the hesitation here. Yeah.
Yeah. He pings. Okay.
I wonder what the reasoning is for that. Oh, because he has enough mana to use it all. Okay. Wait, does that set up for lethal if it's heal bot next turn? Oh no, it doesn't. Farseer.
Farseer doesn't take him out of range. So I think unless he can Mortal Coil something into low Theb or heal bot, then this is just game over.
I think so as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to use the Mortal Coil first. And I'm pretty sure he runs 2 heal bots. It feels like it sort of has to be. And now I don't think there's any way that he can do it. He could pop the block, hope he doesn't have enough burn, but he knows there's at least 2 fireballs in the hand. Or at least 1 fireball in the hand, I suppose.
At least he drew with coil. And yeah. It looks like the Freeze Mage is going to take this game. I felt like Waster could have maybe done something earlier. Played a little bit differently to put a little more pressure on, or maybe cycle more.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
If he had tapped more, though, he actually would have fallen lower quicker, so he might have been able to burn him out of the game a little bit faster. But
that's
still,
true. He did get Alexstrasza, but you don't want to tap too low sometimes.
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, but he played very passively, chose to not draw in a lot of opportunities where he could, and Eldritch is going to take the 1, so he's going to move up in the series 2-1, taking a win with Freeze Mage on his first try in an environment where we said maybe not the best for Freeze Mage. So Eldritch just has 1 deck to win with, and it is Patron Warrior. So he's going to have 2 opportunities to win with Patron Warrior, and one of those games is against Paladin, which I feel like is a really good matchup.
It kind of is, but like the Paladin can definitely take it pretty early. Like the Patron combo doesn't really start until like 8.
Yeah.
So the 1/1s aren't really that much of
Yeah.
a big deal. And you know, if you get muster into Quartermaster, suddenly you're staring down like what three 3s and a 2/5
Mhm.
that you just can't deal with. So it can go anyway, I'd say.
Yeah. And also, a lot of Paladins nowadays have been taking in like double equality things to deal with it. More heals. The Healadin has become one of the popular Paladins where they run like double lay on hands, double heal bot, and like Guardian of Kings,
Oh man,
which is
you know
absurd.
everything.
Yeah. But their Paladins have been sort of adjusting their. It's not like standard mid range anymore, like we saw when Paladin started to make its rise at the beginning of. Wasn't at the beginning of the year, but I guess after a couple months after GVG. But yeah, we'll have to see what Wafter's going to decide to go with. We just saw his Warlock. What do you think his chances are with this Warlock against Patron?
I would say you're favored, but not by that much.
Okay.
It's a pretty close matchup. It's one that like Handlock is a lot better against Patron Warrior, obviously, because you have big threats that'll just smack him down. Whereas like this one, you have like implosions that don't really do much. You have like I don't know, just cards that aren't that great usually against Patron.
Yeah.
But you do have AoE clears like Hellfire, Shadow Flame. Well, if you do run the Shadow Flame, like we see the Hellfire there, so that'll be helpful.
Well, this is the first early Emperor Thorsan we've seen in a Patron Warrior matchup so far today. So it's going to be a lot better of a matchup for Eldritch since he drew into his Patron very, very late in the first matchup that he played against it, which could have helped him out a lot. Right now, he doesn't have the best hand for Emperor Thorsan to come down on, but he's got quite a few draws before he's going to plop that down onto the board.
Yeah, Emperor is like really strong and annoying to play around, but we'll see. It's interesting because Waster is also running Alex Strazin in this deck. Something you don't see a whole lot in Mally Lock decks now.
Yeah, his deck seems very, very. I want to say control heavy, but I'm not sure if that's the right word. If that's the right wording for that. It looks like he basically just goes all in on the Malagos combos later in the game. We haven't seen Dragon Synergy cards like Blackwing Corruptor or like Blackwing Technician. We actually haven't seen Blackwing Corruptor at all, so I'm not sure if he runs any of those cards and just goes all in for the sort of control style. Because we saw Bane of Doom in the 5 slot, and we've seen double Sledge Belcher in the 5 slot as well. Which is, usually we see like maybe one Sledge Belcher, no Bane of Doom, and double Blackwing Corruptor in that slot. I'm not sure exactly what he runs.
Yeah. It is interesting. I think he did cut the implosions. I don't think I've seen one yet. Maybe I'm crazy, but...
Oh yeah. Yeah. And there's Bane of Doom again. I don't think he runs 2. I think he's just, we've seen both of them early on in both these matches.
Man, it's all scary to leave a Berserker up. It's so, like, terrifying. But, like, you have to. You have no other play.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Coining Emperor here is, like, it's moderate. Like, it's okay. But I'm not really sure if you want to be doing that. Like, Slam War Axe seems pretty good here. The issue with that is you leave your Frothing at 3 HP. It could be cleared really easily.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe just Coin Emperor is the best play. And make him deal with the Emperor and the Frothing. We'll see.
Having 2 high priority targets, you either force him to deal with the Emperor to not let you get double value out of it, or you
smack him in the face with Frothing.
Yeah, so either way is bad. But it is a tough choice. Slam Fire War Axe, it still puts you in a good board position. It allows you to cycle more to guarantee that you get a better Emperor Thorsan. Like having a Grim Patron in that slot instead of just getting Emperor Thorsan on what he had in his hand is going to be better the next turn.
I like this. I like the execute. You don't want your Frothing to be a 3. It makes it too easy to die to a Dark Bomb, Hellfire, something like that. So he should War Axe here.
Yeah. And in this matchup, you can hit the Warlock.
Yeah, you can just smack face, go crazy.
You're actually encouraged to hit the
Wait, what?
Warlock.
Did he rope? What happened there?
Huh.
Why is he smiling? He should be frowning.
I'm not actually sure. Yeah, it looks like he roped. There's actually no reason to not attack there because he missed
He's
6
still
damage.
smiling. Why is he smiling? Stop smiling. It's creeping me out. You missed your attacks. Be sad.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And well, Lobster, he can a couple options here. He can Hellfire and clear with
I like
Recoil.
this. Dark Bomb Coil into your imp. Just get it out. It doesn't like really matter that your imp's out there because you have Hellfire to clear anyways. So I think this works out the best.
Mhm.
Oh, there's the implosion.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just didn't see it, I guess. And there's a chance we might not have seen the Blackman Corruptors as well.
Yeah, I'm sure he runs Blackwing Corruptors, especially with Alex Strauza and Malagos.
Yeah, but he runs double BGH, double Owl, and Bane of Doom. I'm trying to think what he cuts out of the deck to make room for that. Double Mortal Coil as well. We haven't seen Blackman Corruptors. We haven't seen Soulfire. Yeah.
Maybe he only runs one Soulfire. That's probably the case.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There's
There
one.
it is. So 7 mana total. He can. It doesn't seem like there's any way to not tap in this situation, which will leave him with 5 mana. But removing the Emperor's
just have
Dorsand is
to-
going to be really awkward here,
You have to like Implosion, I think.
and hope for the best. Hope it doesn't roll a 2.
I mean, you can Hellfire, but you really don't want to be burning a Hellfire.
Yeah.
So I think Implosion. Ooh, the 4-plosion. Easy game.
Yeah, and you're not worried too much about Grim Patron combos because you know you have Hellfire, and if he just uses Grim Patron combo to remove your imps, then you know you'll just be able to Hellfire down the board. Be put back into the same spot that you were. So
Let's see. War Song, go crazy. The issue with this play is like you're going all in. Man, Walster's like praying right now. He's like, oh gosh. But you're going all in, but you know, you're just gonna get Hellfired. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a chance you don't, obviously, but normally you want to be making these plays when you can Battle Rage to follow it up and reload your hand, because then you draw like a ton of cards. But
yeah,
I guess this was his only line of play.
yeah. Wofster actually he makes a lot of movements with his hand, and we have fact about him that he says he's been doing card tricks for 8 years.
Ooh,
So
That's true.
like the sleight of hand, you sort of get into the habit of like making not weird motions, but making motions with your hands. They're weird to us, but not to him.
I like how he attacked him with the Armor Smith
Yeah.
to make it perfect Hellfire. All right, there we go.
And now
Hey.
Eldritch is out of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he can still come back. He just needs to draw a bunch. Battle Rage obviously can't draw off that right now. Double shield block, just getting up that armor. Maybe he could take this game to fatigue. I don't know.
It's gonna be a long time before he's able to get decent value out of Battle Rage.
Has he lost? Is this the second game with Patron Warrior that he might lose? Like,
Yeah.
it's going to lose? Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he's got to get through 25 armor before he can even get anything out of Battle Rage from his face. Oh, there's... Okay. Well, I have no idea what he cuts then. I guess second Soulfire and... I don't know. Because he runs 2 of everything. Double Heal Bot, double Belcher.
Well, he doesn't run Double Bane, but yeah, it's hard to fit in that stuff. It would be interesting to see what he cut. Maybe he cut an Owl. I'm not sure if we saw Double Owl. There's a lot of things that he could
We
probably
did
cut.
see double L.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, for the Doomsayer. Yeah.
Saw double L, saw double BGH, saw double Sludge Belcher. We see double Heal Bot now as well. So... Well, maybe we can get the deck list afterwards. But it seems like a pretty strong deck. I mean, a lot of the variations of Malagos Rogue right now, or sorry, Malagos Warlock. I want Malagos Rogue to be stronger. So
Oh, yeah. Malagos Rogue's actually in a pretty sweet spot right now. Like, I'm probably going to be playing that soon. It's actually there. It's there.
is that coming from your Rogue player mind, or is that coming from your neutral caster mind?
All right, it might not be the best deck.
Do you recommend players who have 50 ranked wins with Rogue to go into on the
into
ladder right now?
Malagos
Play
Rogue?
Malagos Rogue.
Absolutely. Make sure you queue into Dog, though. It's my secret to climbing.
You say something's good, so everybody will play it, and then you farm it.
Exactly. Yep, I play a deck on stream, and then everyone like that decks it, right?
Mhm.
And then I play the counter to that deck, and then I climb ranks.
Genius.
And-
Absolutely genius. All right, well, he's got to chip through this 60 health sooner or later. And I don't really see much of a way for Eldritch to come back. He's been through one Warsong Commander, so he sort of like has to draw Warsong Commander running right into Commanding Shout and just completely clear the board with Grim Pages and Commanding Shout in order for him to really have a chance. Because there's a lot of damage staring at him on the board right now. And he can Alex Straza as well.
yeah, just Alex go face,
Yeah.
go hard. You can be kind of scared if you're in a Waster spot, because if he draws a Warsong Commander, like Frothing, Whirlwind, it just depends. Like, it's always a scary situation when a Patron Warrior has like a decent sized hand and can start going for it, setting up for things.
Well, Despite is not going to really do much because he needs 2 turns to set up like a big Battle Rage or a big play with Frothing Berserker. So he's going to try and Battle Rage here to try and draw into something that's going to help him, but I don't even see what's going to help him. He needs like 2 card combinations in order to come back.
Yeah, it looks pretty helpless for Eldritch, but I mean, he does have another game, and he has to take on if he does lose this. Ooh, Whirlwind. That's interesting.
Interesting, but
Hot, good enough. Yeah,
not helpful.
That's, but it's going to be like what, Paladin against Patron, and usually Patron's like pretty favored. So yeah, he chose death.
All right. Well, he goes ahead and concedes, and we have a tie game, 2-2, and we're going to go into game number 5. Of course, you mentioned is going to be the Paladin from Wofster versus once again Patron Warrior from Eldritch, and it's not very often that we see Patron Warrior when brought in a Conquest lineup lose 2 matches.
Yeah, to see it like lose 3 would be pretty interesting. I mean, Wofster might have like tried to attack his decks against Patron. Like maybe his Paladin's running double equality, maybe it's running like a bunch of heals. We don't know. I mean, he did make it through the entire. Actually, both these people made it through the entire qualifier, didn't they?
Yeah. At least once. Eldritch made it through with points, which means he consistently placed higher. So he was the highest. He had the highest amount of GEICO points for someone who didn't win a week.
I like that.
So he didn't win one, but he placed high enough in multiples that he got enough GEICO points to make it here. And he was the player from EU. He's from straight
EU. Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't really matter if they're. You can play in the EU qualifiers and in NA qualifiers if you're from the opposite region. You just have to have cards on that region. So like Shoop, for example, he was one of the players that qualified. He's an EU qualifier. He won EU qualifier number 1. But he's from NA. But points don't cross region. So if you get points in EU and points in NA, you can't add them together.
Yeah. Wow, this is aggressive as all hell. It's a big unit.
So it's aggro Paladin.
Dang. 8 damage, turn 2.
Well, you're basically saying you have to have Whirlwind or Cruel Taskmaster, or you're going to take 8 damage.
Or Inner Rage. There's a lot of cards.
Okay. Fair enough. Oh, no.
Well, he took 16 from a turn 1 abusive Surgeon. Do you just, like, dump your hand right now? I like it. Oh, man. This is going to hurt. It's putting on the pain train. Imagine, like, a Divine Favor draw. So sick.
This deck lives and dies by the Divine Favor draws. Like, really, if you don't draw Divine Favor by the time you run out of the cards, or, like, within a couple turns of you running out of cards, you run out of juice. Because your hero power doesn't really do much in the ways of, like, Hunter, or Zoo, who are, like, the other 2 aggro, I guess, popular aggro classes. You either have to have a way to refill your hand, or have to have a way to put your opponent on the clock. And without Divine Favor, Paladin has neither.
Yeah. So do you, like, run your Acolyte into the 2-1 and then Battle Rage and draw into Whirlwind? It's pretty solid. Pretty solid play. Take some guts.
Yes, it does. I think you...
Slam is not that bad, honestly. I would not put it past him to slam right now.
Yeah.
I like it. I think that's actually like the best thing to do.
It allows him to contest both creatures on board with just Acolyte of Pain.
That's
So,
not a good draw. Time to go face.
yeah. Well, I mean, he's still putting him at 8 and
On
effectively
turn
puts him at
4.
6.
On turn 4, he's at 6. Like how? Oh my god. Why do I play Hearthstone? What am I doing with my life?
These are those situations where you have to ask yourself just that.
Do you battle rage here, or do you just play the frothing, try to get something on board?
I feel like you need to armor up. So
Yeah, you die to a consecrate if you don't. So it looks like he's not. Yeah, okay. So he's just gonna go for the weapon.
this feels like, oh man, like what are you gonna? This fireworks is basically like 6 damage to the
Yeah,
face.
but like yeah, exactly. You're not gonna want to weapon anything down. That's why I was like, oh, battle rage into like an inner rage, a whirlwind maybe. Like maybe cycling was okay there.
Yeah.
You gotta go for it, right? You just dump your hands.
I don't
Do
know.
you even play the abusive?
I don't think you play the abusive. I think you just throw the owl out on an empty board, but maybe he wants owl to save. I don't even know what you even owl in this situation. Acolyte? There's not taunts that you have to get through.
Whirlwind saves.
Ooh.
Ooh, I forgot he's running shield blocks. That's a pretty good draw. Dang.
Yep. So this is one of those situations. Wafster needs Divine Favor.
Ooh, an inner rage. Do you just use it?
Why not? You
Yeah.
kind of want to empty your hand to make Divine Favor less effective.
0 mana, remove board. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So it feels like he's stabilized.
Yeah, already. Yeah, Divine Favor could change that, but
Should have mini bot's actually pretty annoying.
yeah, it's really, really strong early. I wonder if he's going to play the Owl. I can't see why he wouldn't, but maybe he wants Elridge to play around a certain card. Like, oh, he's holding this card, so it's got to be like a Consecrate or something like that.
Well, once again, the only way he has to deal with the shield and mini bot is to hit into it, but he does have shield slam to be able to kill the back end of it. Wafster looks visibly stressed.
I know. Well, he's facing not elimination, but facing going to the losers bracket right now,
Yeah.
and he's
And it
winning
gets
us
Kalento.
Oh, I know. That's
Which is-
gotta be terrifying.
Yeah. So he just sets up the Death Bite, goes face. Oh, Blessing of Kings! It's not enough, but that's...
How is he gonna remove that? Like,
Wow.
how is he gonna remove that? That's so strong.
Other than Divine Favor, I'd say that's one of the best draws off the top.
Knock knock.
He can double.
You can double
slam.
shield slam it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a sick draw. That and execute, I think, were his only outs for clearing that. No, maybe the Warsong Commander as well.
Yeah, and he can also develop the Frothing Berserker because he's going to have enough mana to armor up and double shield slam. So now he's going to start putting Wafter on the clock, which is something that he needs to do because he can't just give him more and more opportunities to draw into either more threats or the Divine Favor. So he's actually only a couple turns away from killing him. Like he's on a 2-turn clock now.
Ooh, that's a good draw as well. It's getting down to the wire.
It
If he
is.
draws into a Consecrate, like, game could be over next turn.
So he's gonna put him down to 3 health. So yeah, if he draws on the consecrate, he'd only be able
Actually,
to 5.
he has like he's set up for lethal because he has to clear the 1/1 as well. Huh. Battle Rage should help.
Well, he needs a whirlwind effect.
Yeah, exactly. So he needs the Battle Rage for sure, like 100%.
Wow, it's gonna come down to what comes out of this battle rage. Warsaw Commander actually no, because he can't armor
Nope.
up. That's
Oh my
it.
goodness! Wow.
Wow.
I did not expect Walter to win this. Like he was like, it looked like he was so down on like that Blessing of Kings just connected for so much damage. And same as that like turn 1 abusive. I thought Elrich stabilized for sure, but dang.
That has to be infuriating for Eldritch. Infuriating. A turn 1 abusive sergeant hit you for 16 damage. Well, he can draw. No, he can't. There's nothing.
Nope.
Wow,
Yeah.
and he
Jeez.
concedes.
He has to play against Colento, but I think
Wow.
we're gonna play our winners match first.
Yeah.
If I'm not
So,
mistaken.
so Wofster is going to take the series 3-2 on the back of that Aggro Paladin finish. That was a really exciting matchup. He's going to move on to the winners match to face Nostum, and the winner of that, of course, moves on to the playoff stage, which happens on Sunday. And Eldritch will move down to the losers bracket, and he'll face Colento, and that's actually the first elimination match of the day. So the loser of that match is actually out of the tournament. And I'm looking at the structure here. They still go away, even if they face seventh and eighth, even if they're the first player eliminated from their group, they still go away with 4 GEICO points. It's not that many, considering like the winner of each week gets 10. But it could still help them maybe qualify at the end of the season. It means they only have, if they place highly in a couple more of the open tournaments, they might have an opportunity to go to the finals at PAX, or get invited to another feature week. But it really kind of stinks with like a $6,000 prize pool on the line for each individual week to, or even more than that actually. It's
To
actually
just go home empty-handed.
to just
Well,
go
not
home
empty-handed,
empty-handed.
but you know,
Yeah,
Geico points are important. Not empty-handed by
4
any
GEICO
means.
points doesn't fill up much of a hand.
Or your bank account.
Whereas $750, which is for third and fourth, actually fills up quite a bit. We do want to give a big shout out to GEICO. Of course, they're the premier sponsors for the summer circuit. This is it's the best open tournament circuit that's going to be happening this summer, at least with the highest prize pool, the most opportunities for you to win money and world championship points. It's going to be 16 open tournaments throughout the summer. We've already been through 4 of them, 2 in each region. There's going to be 4 feature tournaments, each with thousands of dollars worth of prizes and more GEICO points. And of course, the grand finals, which is going to happen at PAX. We have $60,000 to give away over the course of the summer, and of course, with that big finale happening at the end of the year. So big shout out to them. You can also go to geico.onog.gg. You can get information about GEICO points. You can get a quote from GEICO yourself. You can save money on your car insurance, of course. And you can enter in a chance to win a TSM PC, an official TSM PC. It is global, so wherever you are in the world, you can go ahead and sign up for that giveaway. But we are going to have the winners match coming up next. It is going to be between Wofster and Nostum. But we have that match, plus many more to come today. So don't go anywhere, guys. The One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit will return right after this. to the One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit feature tournament number 1. We are just about to jump into the winners matchup of this first group of the weekend, and it is going to be between Wafster and Nostum. Of course, I'm TJ Osmond Kitty Sanders, joined by David Dog Cairo. We just got done seeing a pretty exciting series. What were your thoughts on that last series with Wafster and Eldritch?
The aggro paladin game was by far like the most exciting. Like turn 1 abusive, turn 2 smack him in the face for 8. I was like, yeah, that was a really close game, and yeah, it just shows the power of like aggro paladin right now.
Yeah, and people don't really expect it too much coming into an environment like this. I know, sort of in a similar vein, Savitz, when he brought out the his Eboladin or whatever it was called back a while ago, a couple months ago, people weren't expecting it. When he brought it to tournaments, people were always expecting mid-range paladin, so they never knew how to really play it around what aggro paladin does. And so we'll get to see it again, hopefully this series as well from Wafster. Nostum, on the other hand, he took out Kalento in the first series of the day, so he's probably got a little bit of a little bit pep in his step.
Yeah,
he's probably feeling confident right
Kalento, like you have to feel a little bit confident about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So should be a good series. I'm not really sure how I feel about the classes matching up. He brought Druid, Warlock, Warrior, whereas Wafster brought Paladin, Warlock, and Warrior.
Yeah.
It's
kind of funny. Wafster in his bio said that he hates playing face decks and he doesn't like playing aggro. Says that he's a control player and a rogue player. And then he brings aggro paladin.
Oh man, he's a trickster, that's for sure.
Yeah, trickster is, I guess, the right word for it. Nostum actually plays for Grand National Champions, which is the Hearthstone team run by none other than Casey Tron. And he's one of the couple members over there, along with Lead Paint, or Frank in a Box, who was recently at the ESL Season 2 Legendary Series Land Finals. Didn't place very well, but both these guys are starting to make a name for themselves. And with the guidance of Casey Tron, these
and
guys
Casey Tron, we trust, right?
Yeah, these guys are definitely going places. So Nostum was actually the winner of... Oh, no, he qualified because he had the most GEICO points for North America. So he had the most GEICO points out of any player that didn't win a week. So we saw him, I believe, in the North American qualifier number 1 a couple weeks ago, where he got... it might have been second. And so that got him enough GEICO points to be able to qualify for today. Keep in mind, this is the winners match. We're running a double elimination GSL style group stage. So the winner of this match moves on to the playoff round, the round of 4 on Sunday. The loser of this matchup is not out of the tournament. They sort of go down to the losers bracket where they face the winner of the losers match. So they'll have another shot even if they lose. So both these players put themselves in a good enough position to where even if they lose this next match, they'll still have another shot to make it to that playoff round, and of course to try and win and make it to the PAX finals.
Yeah, okay. And they also get GEICO points from just like competing in this tournament, getting a higher placing. So those are very important because they can actually qualify for PAX, if I'm not mistaken, through just GEICO points.
Yep, that is correct. I believe the PAX Grand Final will feature 8 players. The winner of each feature tournament plus the top 2 players from each region with the most GEICO points. So the top 2 GEICO point earners in EU and the top 2 GEICO point earners in NA. So if they make it to a couple weeks, get some GEICO points from the qualifiers, make it to a future tournament, even if they don't win, get a bunch of GEICO points from there, they can qualify. But we are jumping into game number 1 of this winners match. It's going to be Wafster on the Control Warrior versus Nostum. He's going to be playing this combo lock.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. Like, Warrior can get out of range of the combo pretty easily with just, armoring up. But the Warlock can take initiative on the board early, squeeze in some damage. I think we saw that Nostum ran Black Knight, so maybe that'll get some value. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting matchup. I kind of like being the combo lock in this matchup, but we'll see. Double Acolyte's pretty annoying to deal with.
Yeah. I'm not sure. We saw that Wafts, or sorry, no, it was Eldritch ran. No, it was Wafster.
Wafster ran
Double owl.
Malloc.
Yeah, he ran Malloc, he ran double owl.
Yeah,
But
this
I'm
is
not sure.
combo luck.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have room for double owl in combo lock, but I guess it sort of worked the same way as Malloc would.
Yeah, I would assume so. Just valuing that 1-3 accolade over 4 to the face. I like it. You really want to be leveraging your life total. Oh wow, that's an interesting play because he can get a free draw off the acolyte now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that, but anyways, you want to be leveraging your face damage for board generally as warrior, especially early. Take all that sweet blowback.
Oh yeah.
So
Show me the blowback. No Black Knight on turn 6. That's when you need it.
Oh, and he sacrifices the ooze because he doesn't want him to draw more. I like that as well.
Yeah.
And it also plays into killing with the Drake. So I wonder if he's gonna execute here and just play the Belcher.
Yeah, well, he should know that this is combo lock because he had the opportunity to watch Nostum's matches early on before he played his.
Yeah.
I believe. I think you have a chance to watch some of it. I'm not sure. There's, I believe, a delay, so I'm not sure how he can use it. But since it was the first match, he could watch it, so he knows that it's combo lock. You're not going to really have many other execute targets besides Twilight Drake in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean that board because like Monster has such a big board right now. It's gonna be so hard for Nostum just to get it back. I'm not sure if he runs many sweepers aside from like Hellfire or anything. Like, it's looking really good for Wofster right now. There's the one, or he's just missing the faceless for the combo piece.
It doesn't really matter though. His hand is clogged up with double Siphon Soul. He's gonna have to like Siphon Soul some of these mid-range targets.
Oh, Healbot.
Okay.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, he can actually set up for lethal because he can just clear this off with the Fire War Axe, go face, and then next turn he can just Alex draws in and have enough damage on the board.
Yeah, Wofster's just going hard. Dang, 12 HP.
He even has enough mana to Alex draws a plus Cruel Taskmaster.
So cruel.
So even if he's Siphon Sold, yeah, well, he's below 12 anyway, so he doesn't even need Alex Raza.
How do you clear this? Like, Siphon now and... Wait.
Well, he's
Is
dead.
that game?
Yeah, he's got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage.
Jeez. That was a quick game.
Quick first series. Our
Yeah.
quick first match. Okay. Well, I mean, combo lock is if you draw your combo pieces early and not your remover early, you can find yourself in situations like that. Having double Power Overwhelming and Arcane Golem in your first 10 cards is definitely not what you want to see.
Yeah, usually whenever you draw doubles of your cards, it's pretty bad, especially when you're not wanting to use that card. Like, he had double Power Overwhelming, he had double Siphon, he had, like, I think he had another double Imp Gang Boss. Like, he didn't want to use those cards. So usually, like, when you draw double of your cards, it's kind of unfortunate in most cases, unless it's, like, a very good card, like double Backstab against aggro or something. But,
Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, well, Lobster's going to get a win with the Control Warrior out of the way very quickly. And so now he has the Aggro Paladin and his Malagos Warlock deck left. And I feel like the Aggro Paladin is going to be able to take matches against the Druid and the Warlock pretty easily.
I agree. And I'm pretty sure Wofster agrees by what he queued up.
Yeah. Yeah, last time he won, even though he didn't even draw into his Divine Favors. He just went all in with an Abusive Sergeant in the first game where he used, double Blessing of Might on his own Abusive Sergeant, and he got to swing twice with it, so he did 16 damage. He put him at 6 health on turn 4.
That's so ridiculous. That's crazy.
Yeah. So now he's got... this is a fantastic hand, because he's got super... a resilient and strong early game. Plus, he's got Divine Favor to fill his hand in the mid game.
Divine Favor is by far the most important card in this matchup. Ooh, and like mustering and able to clear that. It's looking double Divine Favor. That's usually not what you want, but then again, like the Warlock's usually going to have enough cards to where you're going to get value from it regardless.
Yeah. in this matchup, I'd say that having double Divine Favor is actually not that bad.
Ooh,
like,
ooze. That's it. He did run the ooze.
He does have Hellfire. He's got a decent hand. Ooh.
I think you play on curve.
Yeah.
Because I think you just want to like dump your hand as quickly as possible. So by playing on curve, you allow that.
Yeah, I think like go face.
I like face, yeah.
You know that if you trade, you're just gonna get Hellfired. So
yeah, and he used an owl already, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds he has the second one?
Yeah. And you're not playing around Molten Giant to this matchup. It's combo lock, so the damage that you do is gonna stick aside from heal bot. So you might as well just put on the damage while you can.
That second Hellfire drop is really, really clutch.
He's gonna have to use them both in quick succession, though.
I know, and then like he's Wasser's just gonna fill up his hand again with Divine Favor.
Yeah,
which is pretty nice.
And he's actually putting on a lot of damage. So he's gonna put on an extra 3 damage this turn. If he Hellfires, he's gonna be at 8. He has a 1 damage weapon, so he's effectively at 7 the following turn.
Yeah, things are looking pretty good for Wasser here.
Wow. Wow.
So you just drop the abusive, right? Do you drop the owl? I think you value the owl more, right?
Yeah.
In the card, I think an owl is like, yeah, good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they'll draw him 3 cards. Still good. Still fantastic.
Decent. It's decent, you know. And you just drop that, right? Perfect.
It's a better Arcane Intellect.
Oh man, are we gonna see a siphon on a juggler?
I think that unless he draws into like Healbot here.
Oh, okay.
I think you still.
I think you siphon, and the next turn you heal bot.
Yeah, because the Knife Juggler can represent so much more damage. Like if you flood the board with Knife Juggler, it can potentially be like 7 damage next turn as opposed to 3.
That was so much value.
How much damage is this? Not enough.
Not quite. You just play everything, all your drops, including not the owl, obviously. But yeah.
You've seen both Hellfires, so
yeah, you just go
empty your hand. This deck feels super troll to me.
I know.
Just empty your hand.
Every time I play against it, I'm just like, this deck is terrible, but it does well. Like I've lost to it a couple times, so
yeah. Especially when you don't expect it. When you queue in and you see Paladin, you're like, okay, it's mid range.
Yeah,
Early on, the first time you see the Shield of Minibot, you're like, okay, Shield of Minibot.
I'll keep my double sprint hand, like it's fine. Yeah. And then suddenly,
like let me swing into the Shield of Minibot with my Fire War Axe so I can kill it next turn. And then he Blessing of Kings it.
Oh no!
It's like, oh, okay.
I made a huge mistake.
Yeah. Well, that's. Oh,
is that lethal?
Yeah, that is.
Okay.
Exactly 12 damage. All right, well, Wafster, another quick match. He's going to take a 2-0 lead in the series. He actually has 3 games in a row now, or 3 chances to win with his Warlock deck to move on to the playoff stage. So he just has to win one of the next 3 games, and he's secured his spot in the top 4. And
I think he's pretty favored. Like, the Druid is probably favored against the Warlock, but still, like, if you're given 3 chances to beat all of his decks, you're in a pretty good position.
Yeah. And top 4 guarantees $750, and it also guarantees 10 GEICO points. So getting top 4 in a feature tournament is the same amount of GEICO points as winning an Open. So that's a pretty big deal. And $750 on top of that, that's a whole lot of packs that you can buy.
All about that pack value and those GEICO points.
Yeah, well, what you can do is you can buy packs on whatever server you don't main on to increase the chances that you'll win an Open on the other server.
Then go into a feature tournament, right?
Yeah, and then, give yourself multiple opportunities to get into another feature tournament to get more $750. Buy more packs.
Oh, man. Sounds like a plan.
Yep. All right, well, these 2 decks have similar strategies, but just different win conditions.
Yeah.
Wobster's running the Malagos Warlock, which relies on spell combos. Nostum's running the Combo Warlock, which relies on Arcane Golem, Power Overwhelming, Faceless.
I actually think the person who's favored in this matchup is the person who either like draws really well, but like more importantly, you go first, because if you go first, well, you basically have a wild growth the entire game. The extra card doesn't matter because you're going to be sapping anyways, and your like hand is full. So I actually think that it's more important to go first in this matchup than pretty much anything else.
Do you think it's beneficial for Malygos Warlock to be able to get through taunts with their combo? Does it really matter?
It's not as important, no.
He's gonna coin on Emperor.
Yeah, I was turn 5. Why
Yeah.
not make him react to you?
Yeah. Even
Not a very good hand for it, but
there's only one sort of quote-unquote combo piece with the Dark Bomb. But having like 0 mana Mortar Coil or having like a 4 mana heal bot can open up a lot more plays. Oh, the 4 roll!
yeah, Andy gets the Mortal Coil. That's not very. It's gotta feel bad.
It's payback for the last Aggro Paladin game.
Exactly.
And the Imp King boss is so tough to deal with because this deck deals damage in like 3s. Like Dark
Yeah.
Bomb 3, Hellfire 3, Blackwing Corruptor 3.
I didn't even think about that. All of them do deal damage in 3s.
Hmm.
Looks like he's gonna go with the Drake.
Yeah. In the current meta though, 3 seems to be sort of the sweet spot. But
Yeah, like Shredders. Like if that's a Shredder, you can deal with 3 drops from Rogues. You can kill like big game hunters.
patrons.
Oh yeah.
So, but in this matchup, it's sort of a completely different world as far as where your damage lines up and where it doesn't. This is actually such a tough board to deal with, having both Imp King bosses on, because there's no way to deal with those efficiently, except for maybe like Shadow Flame. But then you're still left with 1/1, so everything just feels inefficient.
I would actually like Waster to play one of those BGHs soon. I don't think they're very useful. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The double BGH seems to be used. It feels like it's used more when you play like an Abusive Sergeant.
Yeah.
Because you can use an Abusive Sergeant to buff a 5, like a Emperor Thorsan up to 7 attack to kill it. The double BGH without having any sort of buff to activate it seems
Kind of. Yeah.
excessive. Oh, well, there's an
Abusive.
Sergeant. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. We hadn't seen it until now.
Ooh, do Hellfire this board. Does that actually reduce the damage? Because you take 3. Oh, he's using Bane of Doom. Okay, that makes sense.
So that's got to be something good.
It has to be, I think. Yeah, I don't think that's good enough. Is that game? That's 4. Oh, that's definitely game. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. There was multiple ways for him to win. So Nosum puts himself on the board in this matchup. So far, we've had 3 very quick games. They've been very one-sided in the matchup so far. And Wobster, he still has 2 opportunities left to win with this Warlock, and I think that one was probably going to be the hardest one for him, the mirror matchup. Actually, no, Druid was probably going to be the hardest one for him.
Yeah, I mean, he still has, Druid. Druid isn't too bad if you can just, like, drop Malygos on 9, or if you get a good Emperor. It ultimately just comes down to, like, is the Druid doing Druid things, like drawing Wild Growth, drawing Innervate, things like that. The Patron Warrior matchup is also not too bad. I don't know. I haven't played that matchup without an ooze, so oh my goodness, that hand is disgusting.
Dog, that's 2 Wild Growths.
He's a really good Druid player.
Mm-hmm.
He's done this before. He's played Druid before.
Yeah, lots of experience. I just got my Golden Druid yesterday.
Man.
It was the worst experience of my entire life.
I don't know. I feel like Golden Paladin or Priest is...
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to those. I started at like 440 wins. So when I hit Legend at the beginning of the season, I had 440 wins with Druid. I said, okay, I'm going to dedicate the next week or so to getting Golden Druid. So I'm only going to play Druid. So I started out like 80 Legend rank. I'm now 900. And I'm pretty sure that there's not many people below 900 because every time I lose a game, I lose like 1 Legend rank.
Oh my goodness.
So that 1 Legend rank I lose is basically the one person that's getting Legend in the time that it takes me to lose
what you
that
do
game.
is you tell them that you're the highest Legend, right?
Yeah.
You tell everyone, I'm the highest Legend. Like
I'm the highest Legend rank currently. So now, I got the Golden Druid. So now I'm literally never playing Druid again and I have to spend the rest of the season trying to climb up with other decks.
Oh man. It's okay. Anything's better than Paladin. And double Wild Growth, so strong.
Yeah, especially with Ancient of Lore in the hand, because sometimes when you have double Wild Growth starts or like Wild Growth Innervate starts, you run out of cards. And having Ancient of Lore in the hand as well makes it so that you can ramp up and Ancient of Lore to refill the Wild Growths that you basically spent.
Did he actually keep that Ancient of Lore
I
in his
wasn't
hands?
paying enough attention. I know that he had one in his hand, but
Yeah.
I wasn't.
That would be
paying enough
smart if he did. I would actually have to commend him for that. Because you're right, that is a way you lose the matchup. You just like draw dead. So keeping it kind of guarantees it.
Preemptively dark bombing. Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought he played the BGH this turn. The green glow went away.
Whoa, Spec Knight. I have not seen that card in a long time.
Wow. It's actually super smart because what are the three most popular decks right now? What
Patron
Control
Warrior.
Warrior, Patron Warrior,
Yeah.
and Warlock.
Huh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Which they all have a lot of trouble because they mainly use like Implosion, Dark Bombs, Mortal Coils, Execute, Shield Slams to remove that 5-drop.
It's true. That's interesting. I do like that tech. Ooh.
Yeah.
BGH.
There's a player on ladder that has run Spectral Knights for like months and months. Jason Zoe.
Oh yeah, I think he plays Control Warrior mostly, but
Yeah, he plays. But the couple times that I've seen him play Druid, and the couple times that I've played against him in tournaments where he's been running Druid, he runs Spectral Knights, and he's been doing it for months. He finished like I think top 10 last month.
That's good. I mean, that's results.
Yeah.
It's an awkward turn as well.
But he's got a lot of mana, so
It has a lot of mana to leverage.
happy about that.
Needs more card draw.
Yeah. He can like keeper, swipe, or just double swipe. Yeah, that works. And he can save keeper for like Twilight Drakes.
Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to do.
All right, let's see. Anything but 2. That's
Oh,
4.
okay. I think we haven't seen anything less than 4 in this game.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it's been. You can't say either player's getting luckier than the other because they both rolled 4s nearly every time.
Exactly. I didn't really like the use of swipe there. Like both swipes. He runs implosions, and like by doing that, you're just putting yourself in a kind of bad situation.
Yeah. Druid in the last patch did get slightly worse in this matchup because now the imp from the Imp Gang boss still survives after swipe is used.
That's right. I forgot about that. Man, he's just going in with Bane of Doom. He knows he's getting something good.
Oh, the Pit Lord.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty average.
Yeah.
Well, because the demons are strong on average.
They really are. But you could also get like really garbage ones like Mistress of Pain, Voidwalker, Blood Imp. But there are a few good ones like you can get Illidan, right?
Dread Infernal,
yeah. Mal'Ganis, Jaraxxus. There's a good amount.
Yeah. Floating Watcher.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Even Felguard's pretty decent. Because you don't get the drawback.
Oh, yeah, you get the 3/5. But
Yeah.
still, a 5/6. That's pretty intimidating for Druid to deal with.
Yeah.
Whoa. I don't know if you Alex face and go in.
If you Alex face and go in, you put him at 4. But then you're staring at pretty much Savage Roar kills you.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a winning play.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like tapping or using coil here.
I think you can fit in tap, owl, and anti-kill bot.
Well, I think you'd want to develop the corruptor first. Looks like he's gonna cycle the coil first.
Yeah.
See what he can get. Well, both swipes have been used, so I actually really like that trade right there, and just play Belcher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's very smart.
Protects you from combo. And now next turn you can Alexstrasza, or you can play double 5-drop. Yeah, I think double 5-drop probably be pretty good next turn. I don't know, Alexstrasza, because you're not getting maximum value of anti-kill bot because you're only at 24 health.
Yeah, it just depends how the board state looks after this turn.
Yeah.
Like, looks like he's trying to set up for lethal with. Okay, no, he's clearing.
I think he's just gonna.
He is also setting up for lethal this way, though,
Yeah.
so I kind of like that. So now you can heal bot. Are you dead to combo? Ooh. Okay. There we go. That's one way to do it.
Corruptor Shadow Flame.
Yeah. Very, 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 very important draw.
Yeah, he would have been dead to combo if he didn't find a way to deal with the shades. He would have had to anti-heal bot to get out of range. And we'll see what the next draw was going to be from Nostum. Wrath.
Oh.
He wouldn't have died, but this is going to allow him to cycle. But I'm not sure if he can find enough to come back in this game.
Well, the thing is, Waster doesn't have anything to set up for lethal yet. If he plays Alex Strauss this turn, there's a chance it gets BGH'd, and maybe the board can be cleared.
Yeah, that's true.
It just ultimately comes down to Waster's line of play. I think the safest thing is just to drop Malagos. I don't know. You don't want to sacrifice everything into the Harrison either.
Well, you can Malagos and then go face because...
you don't die to combo.
You don't die to combo. But you die to... Like, if both cards in his hand were either Force of Nature Innervate or Force of Nature Saboteur, and then he drew into Innervate. So you die to Saboteur Innervate, but that's an exact 3-card combo, and he would have only 3 cards next turn. So he does go ahead and play it safe because he realizes he's in a good position anyway.
I don't think he's counted the cards also discounted from Emperor because he used Emperor earlier, right? So
yeah,
if one of those got discounted, then
yeah.
But it looks like this game is over. No, he could use Force of Nature to clear, right?
Can he clear off enough?
I don't think so. No, he can.
He can. Yeah, but there's so many things that win in the game. Any spell. Dark Bomb, Soulfire, Hellfire.
Hellfire, yeah.
Blackwing Corruptor.
Abusive, if he has it. There we go. Nice. And it looks like Waster is going to be the first person to qualify for... what does he qualify for?
The playoff stage.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
So he goes on to Sunday. So he makes it to the top 4 of this feature. So he's going to play on Sunday. He guarantees himself at least $750 and at least 10 GEICO points. And moving out of his group in first place, he also guarantees that he'll face the... I believe it goes cross-group, so he'll face the second place from the other group, which means that it might give him a little bit of an advantage. Because he's the person that had to play less games. He's the person that's sort of coming in as the favorite. So that's got to be a really big personal victory for him to make it through. And that matchup was actually really one-sided. He won the first 2 games really quickly. He dropped 1 match, but then he came back and won the 3rd match pretty decisively as well. So very well played by Wofster. Nostum is actually going to move on to the decider match. He's going to face the winner of the losers matchup. So next up is going to be Eldritch versus Kalento. That is an elimination match, so the loser is out of the tournament. And the winner of that one is going to move on to face Nostum for the second elimination match. So we still have 2 more matches to go. But Kalento versus Eldritch, what are going to be your thoughts on that matchup before we go to a break?
Once again, like Kalento, very well-known player, all this good stuff, and he's not really one to get tilted, whereas maybe Eldritch might be, but I don't know. There's not much about him known, but he made it through the qualifier. He made it to this tournament, so obviously he's good. It'll, once again, be a pretty exciting match to see.
Yeah, so next matchup is going to be Kalento versus Eldritch. That's the first elimination match. Before we go to a break, we want to give a quick reminder. Head over to geico.onog.gg. Get all the information about the upcoming Opens, the upcoming feature tournaments, as well as GEICO points. You can also get a quote from GEICO, who is, of course, the premier sponsor for this event. And also you can enter in to win an official TSM PC. So head on over to that website, follow the instructions on screen, and you can have a chance to win yourself an official TSM PC. But we have 2 more matches to go for the day. We have the losers matchup and then the decider matchup. So don't go anywhere, guys. The ONOG Summer Circuits feature tournament number 1. We'll come back right after this break.
I think it is, right? This is turned on.
Uh, Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome back to the One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit. This is the feature tournament number 1. Once again, I'm TJ Osmond Sanders, joined by David the Dog Cairo. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Excited about this next match for sure.
Yeah, next match is going to be the losers matchup of Group A. It's going to be Calento versus Eldritch. So, of course, since this is a losers matchup, it is also an elimination match. The loser of this match is eliminated from the tournament completely. They don't move on to the playoff stage. They have to rely on their GEICO points in order to bring them back or bring them to that PAX qualification. So the tournament life is on the line for these guys, at least for this feature tournament. So Calento had a very rough first matchup, and Eldritch sort of did as well. So both these guys, I think, have a lot to prove. Maybe not so much Calento, since he's proven himself time and time again on big stages across the world. But Eldritch, definitely. He had a couple mistakes in some of the matchups that maybe might not have cost him, but I'm sure he wants to put up a better showing.
Yeah, I would say so for sure. I don't know. It's also really intimidating for Eldritch to go up against a really well-known player. I know I used to get jitters whenever I played against kind of people who were considered better, but He did make it here. He has something to prove. I'm sure he wants to win, so should be good.
Yeah. To give you guys a little bit of backstory of how these guys got here, Kalento was the invited player for this feature tournament number 1. And Eldritch was actually the player who qualified because he had the most GEICO points out of any player from the EU region that didn't win an EU qualifier. So Eldritch made his way here with GEICO points. Kalento was invited. And it looks like we are jumping into the first matchup here. It is going to be,
Hunter versus Warlock? Handlock? Was it
Yeah.
Handlock?
I believe Eldritch did have the traditional handlock, yeah. So Kalento had the face hunter, and Eldritch had the traditional handlock. So we can't see Kalento's hand yet, but we'll get that back up and running for you guys as quick as we can. All right, going face.
Hunter doing Hunter things.
Yeah. Not the worst start in the world for Eldritch. He does have he curves out pretty nicely. He's got anti-heal bot in his opening hand to be able to heal back up.
And the Belcher for the taunt.
And the Belcher.
I think we figured out that Kalento was running like face Hunter last time, correct? It wasn't mid range.
We saw Wolf Fighters, Arcane Golems. We didn't see anything that would indicate that it's mid range, like Powder Treaders or like high mains or hybrid with Powder Treaders and high mains. So it looks to be just straight up Smork.
The good old fashioned Smork. Such an awkward turn for Kalento. I hate these turns. Like, do you play Animal Companion, hope for the Huffer, go face?
Yeah.
Do you play the Juggler? I don't know about Quick Shot. That's a little strange.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, that makes sense. I didn't see the weapon.
Yeah. So the next turn's going to be a little bit rough. Sludge Belcher doesn't have a clean way to deal with it because...
Doesn't have a beast. Ooh, there we go.
Nice.
It's one way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the only way, at least for this game, that we'll be able to see these cards because of the spectator client. So hopefully we'll get the cards flipped around for the next game. But for now, upside down.
For now, upside down worlds. So I guess you coil and see what you draw into. If you researched like Kalento's match, you know that he like ran an explosive, so you could probably assume that it's double explosive.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe dropping the Drake is better here. Because I don't think you feel threatened enough to have to play the heal bot.
Yeah. Healbot, oh man. Yeah.
I like Drake. It gives you more of a board presence. Healbot just dies really easily. It looks like we have figured out that it's explosive trap.
Yeah. So he's.
So I guess you have to Animal Companion here. Like you don't want to give him enough mana with Arcane Golem. So see what you roll with Animal Companion. Probably smork it up because you are a face hunter and you are a scumbag.
And even the juggle goes face. To a certain extent, you can sort of play around. No, you can't play around once. Forget that.
I think you just go face, right? Like, there's no reason to trade anything.
Mm-hmm.
You could maybe abuse the creeper, and if one juggle hits, you could trade. No, okay. Yeah, put him at how much HP? You put him at 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. And there's explosive trap up.
Yeah, when you're playing Face Hunter, you can't really have respect for Molten Giants because you're not really going to get many other opportunities. You just sort of have to put him as low as you can, as early as you can, and hope that he doesn't have a way to block you. And even then, sometimes you can rely on burn. And so the best play that Eldritch can make here is like Anti-Killbot and Sunfury Protector.
He's really scared of it being freezing trap because a decent amount of face hunters run freezing trap, but you can't really play around that. Yeah, so he's gonna trade, figure that out, half to heal bot, half to taunt. So from Clento's side, does he have enough damage to end the game? I mean, at least get bored.
He's got a couple of juggles here with whatever he draws from his hand, plus the 2 that he gets from Haunted Creeper. And Glaive Zuka actually represents 3 more damage as well. So
Zuko is a pretty good draw. I mean, you're playing your entire hand, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So you play Zuko first, and then maybe you Arcane Golem.
yeah.
Yeah. And then you run the Arcane Golem into the 4/4.
Mm-hmm.
It's like hard to navigate turns sometimes. Let's see.
You do if you do it this way, you do get the double juggles from Haunted Creeper as well.
Yeah. So you attack in the Arcane Golem into the 4/4. You're faced into the 3/3. You're 1/2 into the 3/1 now, and then face. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Now you still have a lot of damage to get through because he's at 15 health and you're out of cards. But preserving a knife juggler on board is going to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I think he's going to trade in the 2/1.
Yeah.
Assuming that at least one juggle hits. There you go. Yeah, I think I agree with. It just depends how low he can get him, right? I think trading. Yeah, I like it. Sweet.
Yeah. Because especially with no cards, knife
Oh
juggler is
my
going to
goodness.
represent more damage. Wow.
Well, it doesn't really like save him, right? The knife juggler, yeah, as you were saying, represents enough damage to where it'll bounce back.
Yeah, if he plays anti-Keelbot this turn, he's basically only playing Ancient Watcher along with it. Unless he feels bold enough to tap. And he doesn't. Oh, Animal Companion off the top.
Hufferino. Leok represents almost as much damage. Ooh, that was the worst one. But at least he can, like, still try to clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. So, the only thing that really saves... what's this guy's name?
Eldritch.
Eldridge, yeah, is like a Shadow Flame.
Yeah.
Something like that. Shadow Flame into Trax. So Stun Fury is pretty good as well. You could drop the Thorson, Protectorate. Should be good.
But now he's on a clock. He's been through both anti-Keelbot, so the hero power is just going to whittle him down over the next 4 turns. So he has to find a way to like set up lethal as well. And there's still so many direct damage spells left in Kalento's deck.
the Threaten.
Yeah.
It's not often you see Kalento threaten. I like it.
Yeah.
I really like it from him.
He's embracing the face hunter mentality.
Oh man.
And he knows that this is a loser's matchup, and Eldritch just came off of a pretty tough loss. Get in his head. He's probably already nervous going up against Kalento.
The K-God himself.
Yeah.
Wolf Rider.
See where the juggle goes and see where you need to trade into.
Oh, that's pretty convenient. Trade everything but the Juggler? Or do you trade in, let's see.
I think, yeah, trade everything but the juggle.
No, you trade everything but the Misha. That way it doesn't die to Sun Fury. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And it's a beast. Pretty sick.
Mm-hmm. And either way, you're putting him at
2. So
2.
Jiraxis. Ooh. It's a whiff.
Can't even tap.
Nope.
All right, well, he concedes, and Kalento takes game number 1 in the losers matchup. Eldritch is now 2 losses away from being eliminated from the future tournament number 1, and that's never something they want to put out, is being the first player eliminated. Second player eliminated, okay.
Then
Like
you're
you
fine.
won 1 match,
Yeah.
you're good. But first player eliminated, no, nobody wants to be in that position. So Kalento still has Rogue and Warrior left, and Rogue was the deck that sort of was the liability deck for Kalento in his first matchup. It was a deck that he struggled to find a win with the most. He had a couple games that looked like they were like right within his grasp, but he just couldn't finish it out. There was like one awkward turn that pretty much lost him the game, so we'll have to see if he's going to have better luck this time with it. Eldritch, on the other hand, he's got still have all 3 of his decks remaining. We saw traditional hand lock. He's also running Freeze Mage as well as Patron Warrior.
Freeze Mage, that's right. That's interesting.
Freeze Mage.
The Patron Mirrors are going to be kind of like strange, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I like Kalento's hand lock. Or I mean, lineup. Like the Rogue is pretty good against all of those, and Patron Warrior. I mean, sure, it'll be a toss-up Patron v Patron, but it's probably fine against Combo Lock. Like, maybe not that good. I guess Combo Lock's a little favored, but it should beat Freeze Mage pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Especially if Kalento's playing it. He's a pretty good pilot of that deck, I would say.
Yeah. Now, I'm still not sold on Freeze Mage right now. Still not sold on the Freeze Mage. But he took a win with it in his first game with it in the last series that he played. That definitely wasn't the deck that cost him. And surprisingly, it was actually his Patron Warrior that lost him all 3 games in his first series that he played today. So,
oh yeah, Eldritch. That's right.
Yeah, Eldritch. It's not really something that you see very often. It's usually when you look at that lineup, you'd say, okay, the deck that's going to lose him a match is probably Freeze Mage.
Yeah, the Freeze Mage.
Ended up being his Patron Warrior.
Yeah, and it's actually like pretty bad that or pretty bad for Eldritch that Kalento got a win with the Hunter, because Freeze Mage is like usually pretty good against the Hunter. It's the matchup where you want to take the win with the Freeze Mage, because the Freeze Mage is pretty unfavored against Patron, especially if the Patron knows how to play, and it's not that great against Rogue. Like Rogue is usually okay against it because no Rogue like doesn't run with them.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like we are going to jump into the next matchup here, and looks like it is going to be Freeze Mage from Eldritch, judging by the Mad Scientist. And we'll see what Kalento is going to be running here in a second. Warrior. He's running Warrior. Oh, there's the rope. The rope.
Oh,
Too soon. Yeah, looks like it's a weird spectator bug.
All right. So Freeze Mage versus Warrior. So I think this is highly favored towards Patron. It just comes down to like how well you play it, though. It's definitely like dependent on the Patron part. Mm-hmm. But looks like the Mage has Mad Scientist.
Yeah, Mad Scientist. And the Warrior had Emperor Thorsan. We know that for a fact.
Double Flame Strike. That's interesting. Most of the time it's one Flame Strike, double Blizzard or something, or 1-1.
Mm.
Man. Looks like the Warrior is going to coin out the Frostpool here.
Yeah. He's going to definitely be looking to get that burn down with the Fireball.
Yeah, to play that Ice Block.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. All right.
Looks like we're going to be an upside down land.
And I think that the things are switched, right? So Eldritch is actually the Mage.
Yeah.
And Kalento is the Warrior. So the names are switched, but we can follow along because we're smart people.
Yeah.
Okay. And so yeah, Loot Hoarder here is pretty solid.
Yeah. And so, yeah. Okay, I got mixed up. So Kalento's the Warrior. Kalento, his Warrior runs Loot Hoarders, where Eldritch, his Patron Warrior, that we'll see later on, maybe, runs Shield Slams.
Shield Slams instead of,
in place of
Loot Hoarders.
Yeah.
Exactly. I actually like holding on to like Armor Smith and stuff. You usually want to save it for the second one with like Whirlwind effects, and then you can just like get infinite armor. The damage to his face right now doesn't really matter, just because there's Alex Strauss in the deck. It's usually going to be the thing that does the most damage to face. So
yeah. It takes me 10 times this long to think of plays when the cards are upside down. That's just a preview for the new Tavern Brawl. Next week, the Tavern Brawl is going to be all your cards are upside down.
I actually like playing Barrier over the block, because the reason to play Barrier is you want it to pop. That way, your Mad Scientist can get you the Ice Block, right? Or if he kills off this Mad Scientist, it gives you the Ice Block, and you want the Ice Block in your hands. You don't want the Barrier in your hand, because Ice Block is more important than Barrier, right?
Yeah.
So I actually think you should have played the Barrier there. God, that hand! He's just passing every turn. From the Warrior, he's gonna get like pretty big Emperor value, but still, it's like pretty awkward.
Yeah.
You don't really want to slam that. It's double inner rage. I think that's what's clogging up his hand.
At least he's getting armor, which still, even though this Patron Warrior is still an important mechanic when you're going up against Freeze Mage.
Well, the thing is, like, It's not even that bad for the warrior because the freeze mage is drawing so dead. He just drew 3 secrets, right?
Yeah. And double flame strike in his opening hand. Absolutely no card draw in his first like 8 cards.
Eldridge does not seem entertained, not at all.
Nope. And we actually do have the players back in the correct spots now, so.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh my god, so many dead draws, man.
He's got all 4 secrets and both mad scientists in his first 10 cards.
How's he? I guess you fireball that?
You have to. You can't leave that up against a patron warrior for more than 1 turn.
Oh man.
Frost Nova does absolutely nothing in that case. And I mean, what cards has he had reduced here? I believe that's a Grid Patron, Warsong Commander, a Whirlwind, an Execute, 2 Inner Rages, a Slam,
yeah.
2 Executes. Okay. Or is that a Frothing Berserker?
Double execute. It's not frothing.
Let's see if we can get a mouse over on.
The thing is, this is what I was talking about. Like, whenever you have doubles of cards, it's usually not good. As you can see, like, Kalento's hand is, like, really congested right now. And that's because, like, he has double execute, double inner rage, like, doubles of cards that he doesn't really need.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you see a lot whenever people have bad hands, is because they have doubles of cards that they don't really need.
Yeah. All right, it is Warsong Commander. Execute, Inner Rage, Grim Patron, Whirlwind, Slam, Execute, Frothing Berserker. Thank you, almighty spectator.
So Kalento feels like he needs to go in, although I don't really see this as super necessary. But he is getting a lot of armor from it.
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty big deal, is getting a lot of armor. Because at the end of the day, this is still a warrior, and you could still bring your health above 30. Mages still have trouble dealing with people who can bring their health above 30. So,
that's true.
And he is going to be able to put on some damage here. He's going to be able to get through the ice barrier plus some, and that armor is going to be a pretty big deal.
That's interesting he didn't attack with a patron. Oh, no, he doesn't want... Okay, I was going to say, if he attacked with a patron, then his board would be full. I think that was the reasoning. And he doesn't want his board to be completely full for something like Blizzard or something like that. But I don't know. I still think I would have liked to see the attack from the patron instead of the armor smith there. I would have given him an extra armor and an extra other armor here because he'd have an extra unit on board, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting that he chose to do it like that.
Well, looks like another armor up pass. I don't know if you want to play the Frothing Berserker out on the board, because that's... Ooh. I mean, I guess it's a body, but...
Yeah, he just wants to put pressure on the board. I don't mind using, like, 1. Just, like, getting it out there. The issue here is, like, do you Frostbolt it? Do you just play Mad Scientist? Do you play Doomsayer? Is it worth Frost Novaing a 2/4? I guess so.
Yeah.
God, his hand is like so empty. He hasn't drawn into any card drawing mechanics.
No Arcane Intellects, no Acolytes of Pain, no nothing. No, like, even Blood Mage Thalanos. I guess Mad Scientist is sort of a card draw, but since he drawn to 2 of his secrets earlier on, it made the Mad Scientist pretty useless. Like, this Mad Scientist isn't even going to pull a secret. It's just a 2/2. And now he's going to have to Frostbolt it. Or Flame Strike. Alright! Upside down land is no more.
God, he has not drawn into any card draw. What is going on?
Yeah. At least he has all of his secrets. You can be happy about that. Kalento's not really drawn into...
I think you have to cycle
anyway.
the inner rage. Yeah. I think you have to cycle the inner rage here. Oh, okay. Looks like he disagrees. This is fine also. Yeah. Man, he is not drawn a single Arcane Intellect, Loot Hoarder, or Arcane Intellect, or Acolyte of Pain.
Yep. Yeah. Warsong Commander. He can get 3 cards. Well, judging by the attack, he's just going to armor up again. I mean, this is also another win condition.
Oh man, putting
Force
on
the
the
mage to
pressure.
run out of damage.
Putting on the pressure. That 2 damage a turn.
And Alex Strauss is just going to get executed.
Yeah, I think you have to play the War Song here to draw an extra card. Actually, no, this is your last War Song, right?
Yeah.
Sketchy.
I don't know. At this point, you can probably just armor up for the rest of the game and still win.
There's Archmage. There's one threat more that you need to deal with.
Yeah, that's true. He did use one execute on the Doomsayer, so the only piece of removal he has left is that one execute. So
Exactly. So if he gets Archmage up and freezes the board, then there's absolutely no way that he can clear unless he saves the Warsong Commander.
yeah.
So it looks like he's going to save the Warsong Commander.
Mm.
Battle Rage. I like it.
2 cards, still pretty good.
Yeah, not too shabby.
And there has to be a card draw coming soon for Eldritch.
Yeah, I mean, he still has a lot of dead draws, right? Like a Fireball, maybe he might have cut Pyroblast. Fireball, or I think he has another Ice Lance left. There we go.
It is.
All right, and this should help him get into more card draw. See, like
Yeah.
there. There's that. That was the worst draw he could have gotten. The second Ice Lance. There's a Fireball. One Fireball left and one more Ice Lance left, I believe.
Yeah.
Or, well, no more Ice Lances anymore, but yeah.
Is he thinking about whether or not to Flame Strike this board? Is he scared of how much damage this?
Yeah,
Rocket
he's
Berserker can do?
he's paranoid of the thing. Was he the one that ran Healbot in his deck?
Yeah, he did.
So strange. I think it's teched against Patron. You don't run double Flame Strike in a Healbot against anything else, I don't think.
Yeah.
So.
He had to have cut Power Blast, and after talking to a lot of Freeze Mage players over the past couple weeks, a lot of them have been cutting Fire Blast. They say that Archmage is like the only card you need, and Power Blast is too hard to use.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I would like him playing like the Thalnos here, but because he can always ping it off himself next turn, right?
Instead of giving the Acolyte a draw.
Exactly. Okay, yeah. And I like this from Kalenta just going in.
He's seen both Frost Novas. He's seen a Doomsayer. He knows that Eldritch has been trying to draw the whole game and has had lots of dead cards.
I think Eldritch is going for the Fatigue plan. At this point, at least.
Well, there's more card draw.
Ooh,
And more. And more.
Yep, there it all is. It was hiding.
Hiding in the bottom 10. I think he has to like Ice Lance this.
I think he has to Ice Lance as well.
So he can Acolyte, ping his own Acolyte, and then Ice Lance?
Yeah, but then you give, like...
I think you give a draw to his Acolyte no matter what.
Yeah, I think that's the case as well.
Because you're either just Ice Lancing and then not doing anything, or playing, Loot Hoarder, I don't know. You're not going to deny draws.
I guess Acolyte ping is probably the best, huh? Because playing Loot Hoarder cycles the same as pinging your Acolyte.
Yeah.
So, we'd want to just...
He's debating about whether or not he wants to give him the card draw, but he can't really afford to just sit here with this hand that he has because his hand is still really bad.
He's played one Frost Nova, right?
He's actually played both Frost Novas.
Oh, jeez. Oh, he is running Pyroblast. Interesting.
What does he cut?
It's okay. He's just going to Pyroblast like Gromosh.
He probably only runs one Blizzard and maybe no Conocolds.
Yeah, I could see that. A lot of people cut Cone.
See how much do a lot of damage, but I'm not sure how much he wants to all in on this board. Warsong Commander is still keeping on to that. He can do 6 damage over the next 2 turns with Fire War Axe. He can draw a couple cards this turn with Acolyte of Pain and Gnomish Inventor.
Warsong seems pretty crazy here. I don't think you would Warsong. What is he doing? Oh, he's... Wait, what? He's trying not to fatigue himself? I'm so confused.
Huh.
Wait, what? That's so weird. I'm so confused. Oh, I think he's like trying not to fatigue himself.
Okay.
Because I think he saw that this guy was running, or Eldritch was running a heal bot, so he's trying to like go for that approach.
Yeah. Well, he actually can't get a single fireball off of this Archmage Antonitis. That's a bummer.
That's true.
Does he even have any spells left that he can combo with it? He has
nothing.
he has one Frostbolt.
I thought he used both.
Did he?
I think
Well, then he has no Frostbolts.
the the good old Pyroblast on Gromosh. The 10 for 10.
Wow.
Oh man.
Well,
So I think you have to lethal him this turn, or pop his block.
yeah.
I think Clinto's like realizing this. It's like, oh, should probably do that.
I think he has 2 weapons left in his bottom 6 cards.
Has he used a Dustbite yet?
I don't think so. I think he has 2 Death Bites left in his bottom 6 cards.
I also think you should put him to 2 instead of 3. But that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's got 38 life.
Yeah, that's true. He's not dying anytime soon.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit scary. I mean, I guess, yeah, Flame Strike into Ice Block. But the thing is, you don't have any, like, heal unless you draw into your heal bot. Like, Ice Block isn't good unless you have a certain amount of HP to leverage with it. It looks like Clint is going to try to draw into his weapon. I think you're right. He does have a lot of weapons left, and he's just going to try to get it this turn.
Yeah. Well, I think he only has 2 cards left. Or 3 cards left.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
think his last 2 cards are weapons.
Death Bite? Are his last 2 cards his 2 Death Bites?
I think he has 3 cards left.
Okay. Armor Smith is still
Oh
problematic.
no, he has 2 cards. He has 2 cards left. You're right. So yeah, he needs Dustblade. I don't think Armorsmith is that problematic. Because yeah, you just like freeze the board. I think you might want to cycle 1 card just to ensure that you draw into the heal bot. Because you know that Kalento's going to get like, a weapon right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you need the heal bot for next turn.
Yeah.
So if you don't cycle, you are kind of done for.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you cycle, you get closer to fatigue. And
That is true.
He has a lot of damage to get. I just don't think there's any way the Eldritch wins this. Because he has to find a way to stabilize, and then he has to find a way to get...
There's a heal bot.
Yeah, as his second to last card, though.
It's true. But you can... Oh, you can't even combo anything with Archmage, right? Like, do you have any spells?
His last card is Fireball, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Because he hasn't used
So
Fireball
he needs
yet.
the Emperor... Yeah, his last 2
Yeah,
cards.
it's game, right? Wait, is it? It's going to take Kalento 3 turns. Can Eldritch put on that much pressure?
Nope.
You can Emperor.
He
and
needs...
then-
If his last card is Fireball, and Kalento is at 42 health, he needs 6 extra Fireballs. He needs to get 6 Fireballs from Archmage Antagonist. That
true.
doesn't even count for the amount of armor ups Kalento will be able to do in the time it takes him to get 6 Fireballs. So Archmage Antagonist would have to survive at least 3 turns, and before he did that, he would have to Emperor Thorsan first to make them cheaper for him to even use them. And Kalento kills him in 2 turns. It's impossible.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Dang. All calculated.
Yeah. But I guess he's gonna stay in and try and see. Maybe he forgot what Kalento's last 2 cards were. Maybe he had 0 damage. Maybe he would be able to survive that long.
Yeah, I don't think he counted.
Even if Kalento had nothing, I think he'd still lose. No. He'd be able to kill him over 3 turns. Yeah. Okay. Getting a little ahead of myself there. Need to calm down. All right. Well, Kalento is going to take a 2-0 lead in this series, and he is 1 win away from moving on to the second elimination match. It always stinks for players like this to make it to the losers match, to lose their first match, because then they have to win twice in a row in order to qualify for the playoff stage. But it's even worse if you're in Eldritch spot and you lose your first match, and then you lose your first 2 games in your elimination match. So
That's rough, but it's definitely possible to come back. I mean, all of his decks can be rogue. Like,
yep.
It's not anything too out of the ordinary.
And Kalento's struggled with his rogue so far, so
That's true. It's a pretty good hand, though.
okay. So
You mean Eldritch?
Eldritch.
Ah.
Oh man. All right. Well, their webcams are online. So
Oh wow, and that's also a really good hand from Eldritch as well.
yeah. He's got some card draw in his hand.
Like last game, God, that was so bad.
Yeah, Kalento knows what he's up against this time. He knows it's Freeze Mage. He knows pretty much every single card in the deck, so that can help him navigate this matchup.
I wonder if he's going to go for the extra 1/1 on the teacher by coining it out next turn and then backstabbing, or if he's just going to backstab this turn. It's kind of interesting to see what he values more. It looks like, yeah, he's just going to go for the extra token, the teacher. Whoa, what? Wait, why? Why would you do that?
Why not?
Because you want to get the ice block from your mad scientist, so you have the second ice block in hand. That way, you can lethal them over the turn. I don't know. It's strange to me. Maybe he's.
He really likes to fit the curve.
I guess so, but he. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Okay.
There's some players that just
He likes his secrets. What can I say?
fit the curve.
Exactly.
All about the curve.
Man. Just shredder. Start putting on pressure.
Yeah.
Yep. Solid.
Well, Eldritch doesn't have a way to deal with the board just yet. He's got Frost Nova to buy him some time, but no Doomsayer, no Flame Strike, no Blizzard.
I think what happened was I don't think it was that bad of a play because he knows his deck and he knows that it doesn't have much card draw in it because as we saw, like he was drawing dead pretty much the entire time. I think he only runs one Loot Hoarder, so I think he wants to go with the Acolyte Ping and make sure that the Acolyte gets 2 draws as opposed to just playing the Acolyte and letting it die. So I think that's what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he wanted to curve out like that. So that makes a little more sense to me. But right now, like 7 damage on board, turn 4, that's a lot. You don't really want to be like, Acolyte pinging this turn, but I think you have to.
Yeah. It gets you closer to your Doomsayers. Oh, there you go.
There's one.
And there's no way he could force him to overdraw here. So, do you trade into the Acolyte of Pain to deny one more draw?
I think you do. But actually,
How much do you value that 7 damage? Or it would be an extra 3 damage?
You value it a lot, actually. Yeah. Like a lot. I think going face with everything is right. You could... Okay, Redagger Deadly. That's fine as well. You don't want to commit too much to board for, a big clear to get it as well. And you get a 1/1, so I like it. Yeah. Seems right to me.
Wow, now he's getting all of his card draw at the beginning this game.
Do you Emperor?
This is actually a really good Emperor hand. But there's a lot of damage staring at you on board. But you know that some of it's going to have to trade in. Or most likely some of it's going to have to trade in. But having Archmage, Frostbolt, and Ice Lance in your Emperor hand, like in your hand when you play Emperor Thorsan, is huge. Because you want Emperor plus cheap spells. You want those reduced. So in a single turn, he'll be able to play like Emperor, Frost Nova, Frostbolt, Ice Lance. Like on turn 10. And that'll give him 3 fireballs, plus it'll freeze the board and the face.
Yeah, Emperor is really, really strong here. So, fan, maybe run that 1/1 in, run your face in, heal up, start going face. You know he runs double Flame Strike, so kind of got to be cautious, but Flame Strike doesn't clear your board, so you're not too concerned about that, I guess.
Yeah. Is he thinking about sapping it?
Maybe. He doesn't want to waste the damage on it, that's for sure. You normally just want to be pressuring the Freeze Mage a lot.
Yeah, if you sap it, it gives him another turn to play it and reduce further, but that's another whole turn that he's using to play Emperor Thorsan. And another whole turn where you're just getting damage in. So he opts to kill it, which probably the smarter choice in the end, because you don't want to give him like 0 mana Frostbolts. But it looks like he's still got a pretty good hand. Now he's got cheap card draw. He's got cheap removal here with the Frost Nova Doomsayer.
I like Frost Nova Doomsayer. Ping the teacher. Start setting up for something.
Yeah. And Kalenta's actually taken quite a bit of damage just from attacking into things with his dagger.
Oh, he pings space there.
Bold.
Yeah, why? Wait, did he count up the damage? Like, does he have enough?
He can play Archmage, Frostbolt, Ice Lance next turn and have 3 fireballs in his hand. So if he plays Archmage, Frostbolt, Ice Lance next turn, he puts him at 12. Then he can double fireball the next turn.
That's true. Maybe that was what he was doing. But then he would have enough mana to do that anyways, right? Double fireball and ping, because that would cost 9 mana because that fireball's reduced. So it's just strange to me that he didn't go with the safer route of pinging that.
Yeah.
But maybe this is his plan for sure. He's like, I'm like going with this. If he has the heal, then so be it. But he has the heal, so so be it.
Yeah. He can still do the same play, and he'll still have an extra fireball to get through that last bit of damage.
Yeah. Well, now you definitely do it. Like, Ice Block was by far the best draw you could have gotten. And this is why you want the Ice Block, the second Ice Block in hand, so you can make these plays. Because if Kalenta lethals you this turn, then who cares? You have the second Ice Block, you can start pushing more damage next turn. Things start working out really well. It looks like he's doing a bit of quick math right now.
Yeah, so he would put him at 15 this turn if he went with that play. So then over the course of the next 2 turns, he could play... well, if he lethals him next turn... No, because he'd have to lethal him and deal with Archmage, which is very unlikely for him to have that amount of damage. Well, maybe with Blade Flurry, yeah. I don't know. It's kind of hard to do that math. Because let's say he puts him at 15 this turn, and Kalenta lethals him and pops
like,
his block.
why wouldn't you ping that last turn if you were going to Flame Strike? I think the play for sure was, ooh, you could Frostbolt clear the board. I think you do it. Yeah. I like it. But, like, if you're Flame Striking, why wouldn't you ping last turn? Doesn't make much sense to me. And, like, I don't know. Since you drew the Ice Block, you can definitely just go on with Archmage, in my opinion, but, yeah, it's just interesting to me.
And it seems like he changed his plan halfway through.
Exactly.
He was He might have been expecting Kalenta not to have.
He was expecting to not heal, right? But I mean, Kalenta runs double fire, so yeah. I guess you Flame Strike again.
Yeah.
Make it a grand old time.
Yeah, he's still gonna have be able to have a big Archmage turn.
Yeah, Archmage, Fireball, maybe Ice Lance Face, something like that.
Yeah,
start getting the damage. It's pretty good. Yeah.
But he's got a lot of health to still get through, and he's been through a lot of creatures.
Kalenta probably runs Loatheb in the deck, I would assume. So eventually that'll start getting some value. Yeah.
And he's drawn into one of his oils. He's got Saucy Deckhand plus Blade Flurry. He's got a lot of damage from hand, so he can lock him out with a Loatheb one turn and set some big things up. So
I like Archmage here a lot. You just Archmage, you Ice Lance, you Fireball Face. He has to deal with your Archmage. You're kind of happy about that. You also even have like stuff to do whenever he Loathebs. You can play your Heal Bot, you can play your Ice Barrier, you can ping something, play Doomsayer. So it's not very, it's not like he's in a bad position. The Freeze Mage player, that is.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We can't hear the ha-has.
Ha-ha.
Wish we could. Ha-ha. We'll make our own sound effects.
Exactly.
The stream can hear the sounds, so we look like idiots.
All right, so you can Loatheb Zap SI, I guess, and set up for lethal. Ish. Something like that.
Yeah, he's been through all of his cheap spells, so except for secrets. So he's not going to get much more value out of that. So sapping it is almost as good as removing it.
But I don't think you can win from that position. Because you just Fireball Face. No, you can't. You only got 2 Fireballs. That's right. Okay. So Loatheb, Sap SI. That's pretty good. Like that.
Yeah, he's been through a lot of like natural burn. So you can account for the 2 Fireballs coming. But I think that's the best play. He's trying to think of is there another way that he can set up something while still clearing the Archmage? But I don't think there is without using too many resources and damage throwing into that Antonidas.
Looks like that's what he's gonna go for.
Yeah.
And also, like, both flame strikes have been used, so you don't get punished by this, like, at all. There's, like, no chance. There's, like, one blizzard left. Oh, he's not going for the SI. Interesting. Chooses to dagger up. I don't know about attacking, though.
I was gonna have to re-dagger up next turn.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's interesting.
Maybe he wants to use the SI damage as sort of a way to pop the block through freeze,
That is true. That could be it.
which
But he
is
does have the eviscerate as well.
yeah,
So.
which is something that he might struggle with. Backstab. Well, this seems like a oil turn.
Yeah, but he has to re-dagger, right? Like,
He can re-dagger, South Sea, oil. That's 7.
so,
Backstab, Blade Flurry.
Does he have lethal? Re-dagger. So he has 9 on board, plus 8, plus 5. 9 plus 8 plus 5.
He doesn't.
17 plus 5.
He
If
doesn't.
he didn't have to re-dagger, he would have lethal, right?
Yeah, because he'd be able to eviscerate
Yeah.
and Blade Flurry.
I don't know why he attacked last turn.
Yeah.
Unless it's only lethal because he attacked last turn, but it's interesting.
Yeah, he'd have 26 damage if he had re-daggered last turn. Or if he hadn't attacked last turn, and he'd be at exactly 26 health.
He has to flurry this turn.
Yeah. And
It's
he
the
actually
SI. He's
doesn't.
not playing the deckhand.
Yeah. He has second oil in his deck still, so he wants to be able to save that for a combo.
Yeah. I think I would have rather him use the deckhand to kill off that and just push the 4 damage, but huh. So now you just Pyroblast face, right? Like
Yep.
you're no danger at all. Like there's no way you can lose this game unless you run Shadow Step or something. But even then